We got an action-packed day for you, no doubt about that. Our friends at Fox 25, along with Nesson, are covering this parade. We have a number of crews out in the field along the parade route. As the Patriots left Gillette Stadium just after 9:30 this morning, the parade scheduled to start at about 11 a.m., though they might be running a little bit behind. Either way, we have you covered. You can watch this on Nesson.com as well. We are streaming throughout the day. Also, we're following another big story today. The Boston Bruins relieved Claude Julien of his head coaching duties. So we have complete coverage of that as well. Jack Edwards, Andy Brickley will join me in just a little bit. And Don Sweeney, general manager of the Boston Bruins, expected to speak to the media at 11:30 this morning. We will carry that live for you on Nesson Plus. And assistant coach Bruce Cassidy will be the interim coach of the Boston Bruins. He's expected to speak at noontime, so we will have that for you as well. But as far as the New England Patriots are concerned, this is their day to celebrate their 5th Super Bowl title. 7 trips to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick now 5-2. Just an incredible run and an improbable victory for the Patriots on Sunday, the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Super Bowl champion Matt Chatham and Super Bowl champion Jermaine Wiggins riding on another duck boat. We're going to join them shortly. But right now, joining us on the phone is 3-time Super Bowl champion and Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. I wish I could be there with y'all, man. That's
all right. It's good to hear your voice, though, and I'm sure it was great for you to watch this thing unfold on Sunday. Just talk about just your reaction to, the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Well, it's like I've been telling people all day yesterday that, it was 25 points, but it's something that Coach Belichick, ever since he's gotten there, he practiced a whole lot of situational football. And to practice that and to actually have it come up in the Super Bowl and to see the plan unfold was amazing, just like everybody else.
What was going through your mind, though, Kevin, in that first half with the Patriots down 21-3, some uncharacteristic turnovers, LeGarrette Blount with the fumble, and then Tom Brady with the pick six, and then the Patriots unable to score a touchdown on their final drive of the first half, and they're down 18 for just the second time in the last 10 years going into the break?
Well, first in my mind was schematically doing the numbers in my head whenever Atlanta would score. You kind of knew Atlanta was going to score just because of the offense. The offense has been, historic the whole year long. So to have them score, and when we scored 3 at halftime, I was a little disappointed, but we got something out of that drive to let us know. It's not like we wasn't moving the ball at all the first half. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot a couple of times. When Atlanta scored after the third, coming out of the third quarter, that kind of made me a little nervous, a little bit. But then when we scored, it was like, okay, we seem to have a little rhythm going right here. It may not be what everybody thinks, but if we can get another quick score in and make it a 2-score game, we're definitely going to be back into the game. And when that started to happen and we started making those little bit of plays on defense, I didn't have no doubt after that.
As far as, the turning point of the game, a lot of people are looking to a number of different plays. For you, what was the turning point in the second half that you knew, this looks a lot better for the Patriots? They have a chance here.
So there was a couple of plays in the second half. And let me not say the second half. Let's just say the fourth quarter. That was very one play I think was very interesting was the play that the ball got batted. And Collins could have picked the ball off, and Bennett just came right across and, took it away from him and got a little 12-yard pass.
Yeah, Kevin, I think you're right. That's an overlooked play right there. A lot of people are talking about, the catch by Julian Edelman, of course, and, a couple of plays on defense, but a lot of people forget about that Martellus Bennett play you're talking about.
Yeah, because that really could have just, sealed the deal for Atlanta.
As far as Tom Brady goes, I mean, time and time again, people doubt, Tom Brady for a number of reasons. The 4-game suspension, will there be rust? He's 39 years old. And then he comes out and does what he does time in and time out. And this time it was historic, breaking the Super Bowl record for passing yards, about 11 Super Bowl records. He owns 11 Super Bowl records at this point. Just talk about his performance.
Great things happen to great people. His preparation, how he prepares for the game, how he prepares for, life after the game. The many, many different things that's going through his mind. I know everybody wants to know what's going through his mind, but nobody really understood the emotion of that game that he had, playing for the many, many different reasons he was playing for, but just how he prepares himself is just unprecedented. It speaks volume for him.
I should tell you that we are going to take viewer calls this morning. You get the questions from me, but the viewers as well. If you want to call in and ask Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk a question, 1-866-275-6376 is the number as we await yet another Patriots victory parade. And I should just give you an update. The Patriots left Gillette Stadium just after 9:30 on their way to Boston. They'll start the parade route at the Heinz Convention Center, go down Boylston Street, around the Public Garden and Boston Common to Tremont Street, culminating at City Hall. It's the same route that the Patriots have had during their Super Bowl victory parades, and at this point there have been many of them. So if you want to give Kevin Falk a call, 1-866-275-6376 is the number. And Kevin, I'll continue to ask you questions until we get some people calling in. And there was one thing, and I thought of you during the Super Bowl when I saw the direct snap to James White. I was like, man, that is a Kevin Falk play right there.
You didn't know how many tweets I got right after that play. And you could see it. You could see it developing. I've been in that offense for so long. You could see it developing when he motioned inside, and I'm like, hey, he's kind of tight to the quarterback, man. This is it. Yes, and they did it. So, I was very excited watching it, to see it unfold, and, to get the response from a bunch of the Twitter followers that I have on Twitter, just talking about, that's the Kevin Falk play.
Three-time Super Bowl champion Kevin Falk joining us on the phone now. And Kevin, obviously, you were a part of, the early in the 21st century, those 3 Super Bowls, 3 out of 4 years. And obviously you spent your entire career with the Patriots. When you retired, did you think that, this run would last this long? I mean, here we are. I mean, this is 2017. And we're talking about a 16-year gap between Super Bowl victories. Did you honestly think that this run would last this long?
You never, any man. You're happy about the first one. Then when you get a number 2, then when you get number 3, and then just the consistency of the teams. Yes, they've won 5 Super Bowls, but if you just go back and just look at the consistency of the organization, but that. Different players, different coaches coming in. It just speaks volumes from management that starts up top to the recruiting coordinators, to the film people, to Coach Belichick and his coaching staff. It just speaks volumes for that organization.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, now it's a franchise that has won 5 Super Bowls, and of course Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have had a hand in all 5 of those Super Bowl victories. We're talking to Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk on the phone right now. If you want to give a call and talk to Kevin and a question, 1-866-275-6376. And in fact, we do have a call for you, Kevin, right now. This is Tony from Providence, has a question about the comeback. Tony, can you hear me?
Yes, and we're a comeback, guys. I'm a football fan, and football is the biggest sport in America. I never seen a game like that, Kevin. You never want to see that again. It was great for the Patriots, great for a fan watching it, but we probably won't see that kind of finish in a long time, I gathered, Kevin, right?
Well, man, like I tell everyone, that was probably the best game and best Super Bowl I've seen, man. The comeback, how both teams started the game compared to, the second half. It just had a lot of different, how you say that, climaxes in the game.
Yeah, just a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, more downs than ups for the Patriots in that first half. And not only in the first half, but going into the third quarter, down 28-3. And you're thinking at the time, at the end of the fourth quarter, or end of the third quarter, I should say, and the Patriots, driving, and then they kick another field goal. It's like, all right, well, now you're down 28-12. You're wasting an opportunity to get into the end zone and get a little bit closer. And not only are you down 2 touchdowns, but you're down 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. I mean, it's just improbable. It seemed impossible that the Patriots were going to be able to not only score the 2 touchdowns, but the 2 two-point conversions as well, Kevin.
Oh, wow. when you talk about that, you talked about the field goal, and most people, you could hear the analysts on the TV talking about, I don't know why he's kicking a field goal. He needs to be going for 7 right here. He does that. The situation, like I told you earlier, I was calculating in my head whenever we was going. I'm like, okay, kicking a field goal because we're gonna be down by 2 touchdowns because he's already counting those 2-point conversions. So it's one of those things you practice, and when it comes up in the game, you wait for it.
All right, we have another call now for you, Kevin. This is Labonte from Holyoke. You have me, Labonte? Hello, Labonte. You got me?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, Marshall. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right.
So how does it feel to watch Tom Brady turn around and take a team from a 31-point deficit and win the Super Bowl?
I couldn't understand it, Adam.
Labonte, if you could repeat the question for Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin, the question to you is how do you feel about your ex-teammate Tom Brady now that he has won 5 Super Bowls and Coach Belichick together are the best team in the NFL? You, as a Patriot, I love you very much. I would like a jersey signed by you so I can put it in my man cave.
To answer your question, a great feeling, man. I actually texted him after the game, the exact same thing you just was talking about. Just thanking him for the opportunity to play with him, for many, many years and to learn from him and how he made everybody else around him great. And, it was an awesome feel.
All right, Kevin Falk, hang tight with us. Our coverage of the Patriots Super Bowl victory parade just getting started. The parade expected to start at about 11, probably be a little bit later based on past victory parades, and we certainly have a lot of experience in that. As we mentioned, 2 big stories today. Patriots victory parade and the Bruins relieving head coach Claude Julien of his coaching duties. Jack Edwards and Andy Brickley will join us coming up right here on NESN. The Patriots Victory Parade is brought to you by BigBats.com, your home for the exclusive Patriots Super Bowl commemorative ball.
What a day for the X-Man. Rick Porcello just brilliant again. What a play by Pedroia. Goodness gracious, Mookie Betts. 2017 Red Sox summer games are on sale now. Head to redsox.com/tickets or call 877-RED SOX 9 for more information.
The New England Patriots have just had the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. To commemorate this historic event, BigTimeBats.com is releasing this exclusive Super Bowl 51 Champions football. The football is available for $79.95, or get this football in the Super Bowl 51 case for $149.95. See our Super Bowl 51 sets at BigTimeBats.com. Purchase your piece of Super Bowl history now.
What is Dining Playbook?
This is inside information.
It's like mixing Boston's best restaurants
This is not your average sports bar.
with a shot of your favorite sports and personalities,
I'm here with defenseman of the Boston Bruins, Adam McQuaid.
topped off with some of the coolest things to do before, during, and after the game.
Your life is in my hands. So what am I doing?
Get the scoop from leading restaurant owners and discover the trendiest hotspots.
One of the coolest things that Jenny and I have ever had the chance to do. Oh my goodness.
Yes!
Join us every week as Billy and Jenny taste their way through the streets of Boston.
You and I are having a little friendly competition inside the park.
The first ever Fenway Frank
I like your outfit. I am so beating Billy.
I'm killing her right now. Uh-oh, I lost the tongue.
Dining Playbook, all new Saturday at 9 on NESN.
All right, following developing news this morning, the Bruins announced that head coach Claude Julien has been relieved of his coaching duties in his 10th season with the Boston Bruins. Assistant coach Bruce Cassidy will take over as interim coach for the remainder of the season. Of course, Claude Julien leading the Bruins to 7 playoff appearances in his 9 seasons and a Stanley Cup back in 2011. So, Here to talk about that with us as the pen goes flying across the desk. It's just been such a busy day here. I'm not sure. My head's still spinning. Jack Edwards. And Jack and I were supposed to be anchoring the Patriots coverage together.
I can
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate
hand
that.
the stick to you, but if I'm playing with 2 pens at once, it's a 2-minute penalty. So.
Well, all right, excellent. Well, yeah, we got to keep you in hockey mode now because we do have to talk about Claude Julien. Just your initial reaction.
Disappointment. First of all, Claude is just a great man, and obviously working as closely as we do with the Bruins and traveling with the team, you get to observe another human being at very close quarters in times of great joy and at times of immense adversity. And Claude Julien is as good a man as I've ever met. He's been great to everybody around him. He treats everybody with a lot of respect, and any way you want to measure it, he is the greatest coach the Boston Bruins ever have had. So the question is, where do they go from here? A lot of people could argue, and probably with a lot of beef to their premises in their arguments, that Claude Julien is the reason that they came within a half hour of making the playoffs 2 seasons ago and came within a half a day of making the playoffs last season. That is, it was his ability to coach inferior players up during those seasons that got them close. There has been an immense talent drain around the engine of this team, and the engine of any team that expects to make a deep Stanley Cup playoff run is its top 4 D-core. And if you look at what was there in 2013 and 2014 and what is there now, yes, there were some bad contracts. Yes, there were some players whose bloom was off the rose, so to speak. That is part of dealing with the salary cap. But Chiarelli made some mistakes. Those mistakes are now history. And if the Bruins have a plan that's going to get them to the playoffs, I think we're going to hear about it at 11:30 when they hold their press conference during the Patriots celebration parade. And it's only anecdotal right now, but I can tell you that from my contact with Bruins fans, and you know, we at NESN try to make ourselves as accessible to the fan base as possible since they do put the roofs over our heads. The reaction to the timing of this announcement and the press conference is 100% negative right now.
Yeah, it's strong, to say the least, to put it mildly. And I should tell you that we will cover that press conference at 11:30 with GM Don Sweeney on NESN Plus, and Bruce Cassidy is expected to address the media at noontime as well. Jack Edwards joining me now. Andy Brickley will join us a little bit later as well. You know, the Bruins obviously had their reasons for doing this now, you know, and outside, you know, independent from the Patriots victory parade. But why do you think that they decided with 27 games left in the season to do this now, in your opinion?
Well, the goal of every team in the National Hockey League is to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. And once you get in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it depends on your matchups and your draw. And we have seen many times situations. The LA Kings, a perfect example with their first Stanley Cup championship. They made the playoffs with a day and a half to go in the regular season, and they ended up running the table because they had a stupendous goalie and they knew how to play playoff hockey. Is that possible? Probably not with the Boston Bruins this season. Are they going to make the playoffs? The odds certainly are stacked against them. They're on the outside of the playoff structure right now. Toronto has
a number of games in hand.
I think still 4 games in hand on them, and
the win the other night.
Right. Yeah, and that lead should get extended by the time the Bruins come out of this span in which they play something like 3 games in the next, I don't know, 11 or 12 days.
Yeah, you got the Sharks in Vancouver and Montreal.
So if you're going to make a coaching change, you give the coach enough time, the new coach enough time to run some practices, to change some things. But if we can contrast this with the Mike Sullivan hire, where you had a guy who was coaching Wilkes-Barre in the AHL, and coming into Pittsburgh, which was a team loaded with talent. And Bruce Cassidy has a rough parallel to that. Sullivan knew what Pittsburgh had and could convert that into a different strategic approach. He told the Penguins a couple of things. One, this team's got to be able to score in more ways than one. and he emphasized that in his practice methods. The other was he had intimate knowledge of the franchise's overall speed and was able to apply that speed as a defensive tactic to take time and space away from opponents. And it was most obvious in the Stanley Cup final against the San Jose Sharks, when no San Jose player was able to touch the puck more than twice without having somebody directly in his face, no matter where he was on the ice. I don't believe that depth of talent exists in the Boston Bruins organization right now, so people shouldn't expect Bruce Cassidy to be able to do that. But that is the point of making the change now, because Cassidy is going to have enough time to implement whatever changes management thinks are necessary to get this team into the playoffs. It's going to be a very tough slog to get this team into the playoffs.
All right, well, we're going to be talking through about this throughout the day. Jack Edwards and Andy Brickley will be joining us throughout the day. The Bruins, again, expected to have a press conference at Warrior Ice Arena at 11:30 with GM Don Sweeney, and at noon with interim head coach Bruce Cassidy. You can catch that on NESN Plus. We're going to switch gears back to the Patriots victory parade now. You can see the snow is falling, people waiting for the Patriots, and the duck boats are ready, and they should be, well, on the streets soon. And one guy that will be in a duck boat, as well, weather not a factor for that guy. I wonder what Chatham's wearing.
Plenty antifreeze in there, I'm sure.
Super Bowl champion Matt Chatham will be on one of those duck boats. He joins us now on the phone. Matt, we're looking at a guy with no shirt on, some overalls. You got something like that on right now?
Yeah, underneath my clothes. No, guys, this is a great day. You always love these, and I always credit the Patriots organization, really all of the organizations in town, from when the Sox have won, from even when the Celtics have won, the Bruins' more recent cup. I know it's a somber day for other reasons for those guys, but of welcoming the former players back into this. It always sort of has a family feel. So be a lot of alumni on there, all the current guys as well, and a lot of the people in the back. People from behind the organization that you don't get to see as much. This is really sort of a family day for all of us that are attached to that team.
And, Matt, I still can't believe we're sitting here talking about a Patriots victory. I mean, I really can't. And I think a lot of people, are starting to, maybe not accept the fact, but, I mean, this is just, we were in shock. I mean, we were in shock, when the Patriots ended up winning this thing. It was the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Yeah. And here we are a couple of days later with another Patriots victory parade. I mean, is it sinking in? Has it sunk in, for you?
I mean, a little bit. I just think we're at the point where you and I, Adam, and Wiggy, and as we do these games moving forward, I think sort of those moments off air where, something bad goes to this team late in the game, and we look to each other and say, oh, I think that might be it. I think that might be over. I think we're past saying that now. Until the clock expires, I think we're not allowed to presume the game is over here from now until these guys retire. So I just think that, you can't count them out. When it was 28-12, 2 possessions, 9:52 on the clock, I mean, you had to just sort of put aside all that had happened to that point and understand who you were dealing with. This is an organization, a team, a roster full of dudes that are built to handle that kind of environment. And all the moxie in the world sort of packed into those 53 uniforms on Sunday. So I'm not surprised. I mean, I certainly would have predicted it was going to happen when it was 28-3, but you had to understand that if someone was going to do it, it was going to be these guys.
And Matt, this is a Patriots team that faced adversity over the course of the season and the offseason. We all know about Tom Brady with the Flakegate. We're talking about the Chandler Jones and Jamie Collins trades. A number of different things that could have derailed this team, but that just didn't happen. It was just another example of the team sort of blocking out all the noise that was coming from outside that locker room and getting the job done. Do your job, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean it's another year, and that was a mantra 2 years ago, and it'll never not apply. And I think one of the things that's really been special about this particular group is you ticked off all those things, Adam, and all of them are accurate. But the reality of how these guys sort of process things is those things just generally roll off their back. So it's something that, I think we have to remember as analysts, fans, and people that watch this team, things that distract us don't always distract them. I think at times they often power them and sort of make them more hard. So when we're talking about how are they going to overcome X, Y, and Z, they're still thinking about the next football play. And, you know, as bad as it felt for a lot of Patriots Nation through 2.5 to 3 quarters there was still an upbeat vibe that was surprising to me. Even seeing it down the field. We talked about that post game, but Tom was still bouncing around. And you're looking at the guy thinking, he doesn't know what the score is, and he couldn't care less. So I think at the end of the day, you just have to sort of appreciate who it is we're getting to watch. Me as a former teammate and friend, but also someone now that I get to admire from the sidelines.
And we talk about some of the adversity this team faced. We're looking at pictures of Rob Gronkowski, who got hurt in Week 12 and missed the rest of the season. The Patriots, despite missing a huge part of their offense, able to get the job done. Matt Chatham, we will check in with you throughout the day. You're going to be on that duck boat, and I know you're going to have a lot of fun. It'll probably be tough to hear us, but I'll speak loudly for you. Okay, buddy?
Appreciate that. Take care, guys. Enjoy it. Bye.
Well, our coverage today is in partnership with Fox 25 in Boston, where you'll be seeing both their reporters and ours. The telecast you're watching is truly global. We'd like to welcome viewers watching on NESN throughout New England as well as across the country on our NESN National Network, globally on NESN.com, and exclusively in Canada on Rogers Sportsnet. A lot of Patriots Nation up in Canada as well. Given we have a truly international audience, we're doing something a bit differently today. Viewers in New England as well as across the country and globe can call into our coverage with questions for Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk, comments on the Patriots, and reactions to the season.
Greats in Boston that people remember, for both what he does on the field and off the field.
We want him to get healthy and to get back on the field for next season, right?
Yeah, let's hope so. Fingers crossed. But, hey, we got the job done. These are the fans you're seeing, these live pictures right now as we get ready for them to board the duck boats. They come rolling down here. Remember Bob Ward on duck boat number 3. The flakes have gotten a little smaller now, and perhaps we're starting to see that change that we were worried about. But, again, doesn't matter what the weather. It could be 5 feet of snow, it could be a torrential downpour, and these diehards are not going anywhere.
Everyone has smiles on their faces. They were just chanting, do your job, and lots of excitement, and everyone's just having a good time, and everyone feels like family because we all are part of the Patriots Nation and the Patriots family.
And it's one of those days, where you'll look back in your life and say, I remember when I went and saw the Pats celebrate their 5th.
Right.
Their 5th Lombardi trophy. Because a lot of these fans remember the days when they had 0 Lombardi trophies, I being one of them. So it puts it in perspective.
One of the coolest costumes we saw earlier was a woman that had those 5 Lombardi trophies on her head. So hopefully we can find her in the crowd again and bring you that shot.
But there's some crazy shots out here. We had the guys with no shirts. That's pretty common sight as well. Let's see, who else we got
more
here?
Live shots of the players as they get ready to get on the duck boats. They are fired up, Bach. This is really the moment that they've been waiting for.
And for the players, too, they're going to have the camcorders in their hands and their phones. They're going to be taking pictures along the route, and then it goes out on social media. So if you follow these players, obviously you'll see that. Of course, we're doing that as well. Bob Ward's got a camera there. We're taking pictures here. So remember, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we got you covered, folks. And the Fox 25 page as well. You're going to find a lot of what goes on here and how the fans have celebrated today throughout the afternoon.
The snow letting up just a bit out here.
Which is good from a visual standpoint, because I got to tell you, 10 minutes ago, not the case. I mean, Low Visby, I can't speak to this. I leave that to the Lemanowitzes, the Spears, and the Robleskis of the world, and Jason Brewer. But I got to tell you, festive atmosphere, City Hall Plaza, they got the road plowed, the duck boats can come, and we're ready to go.
We are. We're going to send it back into the studio to Gene and Sarah.
And it's so amazing to see how many people are out there, Gene. You have to think of the number of people who have skipped work, all the kids who have skipped school today for this incredible sight. And you have to think of all the kids that are out there and the kids who are growing up right now. And this is all they know about Boston, is that we are a winning city, and all they know is that the Patriots are champs.
Hard to believe some of these kids who are out there. The first rolling rally they had, the first Super Bowl championship, was in 2002 at the end of the 2001 season. And it's been 15 years. So some of these kids weren't even born then.
Isn't that unbelievable?
But all they know are championships. It is remarkable.
And it's unbelievable. Tom Brady has been part of all of those, thinking the span of years that it's been between Super Bowls.
Nothing but excellence, and that first Super Bowl is really the coming out party for Tom Brady. Let's get back down to Copley Square. Elizabeth Hopkins is down there this morning for us as she's holding down the fort along with Butch Stearns. Let's check in with Butch first. Crowd is eager. I see somebody behind you there, Butchie, who is getting into the spirit.
Elizabeth is doing more She's doing more than holding down the fort. You know, when you come up. When you come to a parade like this, you want to share with the crowd, and you want to get up high so you get a good spot. Well, our intrepid reporter Elizabeth Hopkins is doing her part to accomplish both of those things. Lead a Brady Brady chant and get a bird's eye view of the parade, which once it starts, will be coming by here on our first stop. So, there you go. Come on, let's hear it. There we go. See, she's got it going again. So she'd never be accused of not being able to get the crowd going there, Gene. I'm happy on my little perch right up here while Elizabeth is down there with her people.
I wish Elizabeth could find some enthusiasm, Butch. That would be helpful.
Yeah, she always seems bored, right?
Yes, Gene. I think it's the fourth cup of coffee that did it. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it was.
All right, Butch, we'll check back in with you guys just a little bit. Of course, we're working with our good friends at Nesson today, our broadcast partners, and we're simulcasting with them as well. And that means we have TC with us, Tom Karen. He's down on Boylston Street near Charles. And TC, I want to get your thought on another question we've been kind of batting back and forth here. As we heard Bob Kraft say after they got the trophy on Sunday that, hey, the 5th Super Bowl was the sweetest. And certainly was for him based on everything that had happened. But, you know, if you pick, it's like trying to pick your favorite kid. For me, though, the first one was still the best because that kind of cracked the code, and the way Vinatieri kicked the field goals, time expired. I mean, that to me will always be number one. But for other people, this one is number one.
Well, yeah, and I was a bit surprised by that too, Gene. And of course, a snowy day like this makes you remember that first one, the win over Oakland. You never get to that first Super Bowl without that kick in the snow and that unforgettable night, the tuck rule, which actually was a break for the Patriots. Since then, we've seen a lot of things go against the Patriots as far as league mandates go. So that's what makes this so sweet. But the snow kind of letting up a little bit, I'm told. When it lets up for good here in the next 20 minutes or so, we should be in pretty good shape. I don't think we're going to get a lot of rain, but I'll leave that to Sherry and the experts. That's not my department. What's funny right now is the crowd, which has probably tripled in size since we got here this morning. Anytime there's any movement down at the end of the line where the buses are right now, those are the buses that'll bring the players back later, the crowd goes absolutely wild, thinking that they're seeing the beginning of the parade, but we're still a little ways from Heinz Convention Center where it will start. If you listen right now, you can hear the chants. It's kind of like when you go to a concert early, you're the first people in, and everyone tries to figure out a way to stay entertained, so they're all trying to outdo each other right now with the chants and the signs. And I will not try to estimate how big the crowd is today. I think we all learned at Washington, D.C. not long ago that we're best off not trying to guess and count how many people are here. I'll leave that to you guys.
And Tom, we were just looking at these live pictures now from downtown, and we were just showing a bunch of police officers. Where you're standing, what is security like around you?
We can actually, a moment ago, a fire truck moved just a couple of lines up from us. And I think if I step out of the way, you can sort of see the police presence right now. If Chris, our camera, can pan over to the right a little bit, we've got a whole group of bicycle riding officers heading up the line there. So they seem to be mobilizing. You wouldn't be able to see it if we could pan a little bit more to the right, but I don't think you can right now. There's another group right here of law enforcement officers. And then if you can pan to the left, Chris, you'll be able to see now the motorcade starting to move up the line, the cruisers that are leading the way, and behind those police cruisers are the buses, as I said, that will be bringing the Patriots back at the end of the line. So we're getting some movement here, which is a good indication that we're about to get this party started, guys.
The thing about the Patriots Super Bowl runs, Tom, is it shortens winter. You know, it gives people something to look forward to, and then next thing you know, hey, winter's almost over. So it is not long, if I'm not correct, before pitchers and catchers and Tom Karen report to spring training. Is that right?
Yeah, in fact, did the Beanpot last night, and next Monday we get the Beanpot final, and the very next morning I'll be heading down to spring training, where we hope to begin another long road to another championship. But you can hear the crowd reacting to the honking of a horn right now. That's how excited everybody is. But yeah, you're right. It's amazing. how this team, we've gotten pretty used to them, even when they don't win Super Bowls, going very deep into the playoffs and pretty much taking you right up to the start of spring training. And you had that day yesterday with the truck day at Fenway in between the Super Bowl and the parade here. So this is all pretty good. And don't forget, 2 years ago, the last parade was in the middle of that run of Monday blizzards. And so we talk about the snow today, but we could barely get those duck boats through the roads of Boston 2 years back.
Oh, I remember that. And Tom, what I think is also just so cool about this rolling rally is that the players are on the duck boats, but also their entire families and their friends and the people that are near and dear to their hearts. And that, just imagine how special that is for them as well.
No question about it. And I think, Sarah, that's where you really see how much it means to the players. When you cover teams, doesn't matter the professional sport, by definition, these guys need to block out all the noise. They can't savor the moment. They can't put it in perspective until you win a championship and you get to bring your family through a parade like this. When the Red Sox had their last parade in 2013, I was lucky enough to be able to be on one of the duck boats like Bob Ward is today, and I get to bring my family. And one of my sons had his GoPro going through the whole thing, and it's an amazing video to look back on now, to be in the middle of all that. And for these players who, again, go through really a 7-month grind of daily routine with blinders on, blocking out everything around them, this is the day. From Sunday to now, it's been a whirlwind, and today, for the next couple of hours, they'll get to enjoy this a little bit. It's not something they get to do very often.
All right, TC, stay put there. We'll check back with you shortly. Of course, it won't be long before the rolling rally and parade of duck boats makes its way past your location. We're 16 minutes, coming up to 17 minutes past the hour of 11 o'clock. So obviously they're running behind here, trying to get everybody situated on those duck boats. Took a little while, a little longer than they expected to get from Foxborough down to the Heinz Convention Center, where they are boarding those particular duck boats. By the way, one shot we have, a really unique shot, and it's very helpful today because Sky Fox is not up in the sky. We have down there around Tremont Street is from Sam Slater's perch, if you will. He's given us access to a spot there. We have a great camera shot. We're going to thank him for letting our crew sit up in there today, so we can give you the best.
All right, well, as expected, the Patriots victory parade running a little bit behind. Weather playing a part in that, as it has in years past, but we will continue our coverage along with Fox 25, and Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk will join us right after the break. The Patriots Victory Parade is brought to you by BigBats.com, your home for the exclusive Patriots Super Bowl commemorative ball.
What a day for the X-Man. Rick Porcello just brilliant again. What a play by Pedroia. Goodness gracious, Mookie Betts. 2017 Red Sox summer games are on sale now. Head to redsox.com/tickets or call 877-RED SOX 9 for more information.
The New England Patriots have just had the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. To commemorate this historic event, BigTimeBats.com is releasing this exclusive Super Bowl 51 Champions football. The football is available for $79.95, or get this football in the Super Bowl 51 case for $149.95. See our Super Bowl 51 sets at BigTimeBats.com. Purchase your piece of Super Bowl history now.
Our desire fuels us. Relentless, loud, and strong. It rings between our ears, endlessly driving us longer, faster, harder.
That's the stuff of coal miners with dirty faces at the end of the day.
Because nothing worth earning.
What an amazing effort!
Is supposed to be easy. We are Nesson, your home of the Boston Bruins, presented by Xfinity. Our history runs through these streets, like the footsteps on cobblestones, the beats of our hearts. Our skyline, a monument to those who revolutionized based on a right, and to those who continue to rebuild based on our dreams.
And here we go!
So deep is the pride in our heritage, our legacy, we're driven to create one of our own. This is what we're made of. Nesson, your...
Well, the anticipation building and the crowd is as well. The Patriots victory parade set to get underway, running a little bit behind. Close to 1 million people in the city of Boston to celebrate the Patriots' 5th Super Bowl title. Well, our coverage today is in partnership with Fox 25 Boston, where you'll be seeing both their reporters and ours. The telecast you're watching is truly global. We'd like to welcome viewers watching on NESN throughout New England as well as across the country on our NESN National Network, globally on NESN.com, and exclusively in Canada on Rogers Sportsnet. Given we have a truly international audience, we're doing something a bit differently today. Viewers in New England as well as across the country and globe can call into our coverage with questions for Kevin Falk, comments on the Patriots, and reactions to the season. We're also following another developing story today. The Bruins have relieved Claude Julien of his head coaching duties. Assistant coach Bruce Cassidy will take over as the interim coach. GM Don Sweeney expected to address the media at 11:30 this morning from Warrior Ice Arena, and at noon, Bruce Cassidy will talk to the media as well. Jack Edwards and Andy Brickley will anchor that coverage. So, getting back to the Patriots victory parade, joining us on the phone is Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk. And Kevin, just surreal experience right now watching, the Patriots getting set to celebrate this, 5th Super Bowl title. And, talking to, Matt Chatham a little bit earlier, this Patriots team has always done a good job of blocking out the noise because they had, some adversity they went through this year between Tom Brady and his 4-game suspension, a couple of questionable trades on defense, the injury to Rob Gronkowski. I mean, it was a lot that this team had to overcome to get to where they are today.
Well, first off, when you first get to the New England Patriots, that's one of the signs on the door. Ignore the noise. So it's nothing surprising to me. It's something that's taught, that we are taught early when we get there, that, there's going to be a lot of noise, especially when you're winning football games and when you're doing things the right way. People are going to question a lot of things, so ignore the noise.
All right, well, we are taking your questions from Kevin Falk, 1-866-275-6376. And right now, Patrick from UMass, I'm assuming Amherst, Patrick, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, you're calling from the zoo, so you got a question for Kevin Falk.
Hey, Kevin, longtime fan. I don't know where you stand on analyzing player legacies, but as a player whose legacy has clearly been cemented as an all-time great, I'm curious to get your opinion on whose legacies improved the most as a result of this Super Bowl. Tom and Bill's legacies have clearly been established as probably the best coaching QB of all time. But when I think about who improved their legacies the most, 2 players come to mind, with that being Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman, more specifically Julian Edelman. So I guess the question I'm getting to is, do you think Edelman now enters the conversation with greats like Troy Brown? And if so, why, considering you were a teammate of Troy Brown?
The volume, the player speaking for itself. Most definitely, of course. He is in that conversation. I watched him from when he first got there and to now, and the maturity level is so much different. It's so much more mature. He understands everything that he's doing as a route runner, and just his competitiveness is showing in his play.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I probably didn't realize that Julian Edelman is amongst the all-time leaders in receptions in the postseason. I mean, this is a guy that has been to the postseason every single year since 2009, and really his coming out party was back in 2009, Kevin, when Wes Welker went down in the regular season finale against the Texans in Houston. And, the Patriots got trounced in that divisional round matchup against the Ravens in Baltimore. But it was sort of the coming out party for Julian Edelman. You said, oh, wait, we have something here with this guy. Would you agree?
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, when he first came in, you can tell that there was something special about him from playing quarterback in college and moving to the receiver position, and just to be like a natural when he got there. There was some rough edges, but he was a clear natural out there. He was an athlete.
Yeah, and look, I mean, there's been a lot of college quarterbacks that have been athletes over the years and haven't been able to transition to the NFL, in a different position. But Edelman was certainly able to do that, and certainly a big reason why the Patriots are Super Bowl champions. As we take a look now at the duck boats getting in position, looks like this rolling rally is about to get underway. Again, it was scheduled to start at about 11 o'clock, but the Patriots were late leaving Foxborough, scheduled to leave at about 9:15 and ended up leaving at about just after 9:30. So now it seems that the duck boats are getting in position and ready to kick this thing off. The fifth rolling rally for the Patriots, or fifth victory parade for the Patriots, in celebrating their fifth Super Bowl victory. And, we've had now 10 of these celebrations in Boston between the four teams. All right, we want to take another call for Kevin right now. This is Don O in Providence. Hey, Don.
Me, Don O, he called me. What?
Hey, Don, it's Adam. You got a question for Kevin? I think he has his TV on right now, so getting a little bit of a delay here. Dono, you got me? All right, I think we'll try to reconnect with Dono in a minute as we continue our coverage of the Patriots victory parade right now. The duck boat's getting in position. You see the police presence right there. You see the crowd, close to 1 million people expected in the city of Boston, as we're joined now by Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk on the phone. And Kevin, as we're watching this, I just keep thinking of, of this Patriots team over the years. And, we've had a lot of great players that you played with over the years that you thought were, that couldn't be replaced, but yet, Bill Belichick and the front office able to put guys in position in a position to succeed. And there's been a number. I mean, look, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, they've been the constants over the years. But we've had a number of different guys, step up for this team where you thought, they're never going to be able to replace, like a Willie McGinnis or Kevin Falk. Or Teddy Bruschi or any of those guys, but they're able to do that year in and year out.
Well, that speaks volumes for a group of guys that nobody hardly knows about, that don't get the recognition, and that's the scouting department. Those young guys that go out, watch film, go to these different colleges, and watch these kids and see how they maneuver, see what their character is. That's one of the main things with the New England Patriots scouting department. They not only look for your athletic ability, they look for someone that can fit the mold of a former guy that they've had. Not just his play, but his demeanor, his attitude, and how he carries himself.
Looking at live pictures of the Patriots victory parade right now, set to get underway as we're looking at a pretty cool helmet right there with 5 Lombardis on top. Just a lot of creativity coming out of the parade early on in the snow and all this weather we're having. All right, we're going to go to another call for Kevin right now. Brady joins us from Worcester. What's going on, Brady? Nice name.
I was just wondering what you thought about the game and stuff. Do you think that they could have played better?
Well, Kevin, I guess the question is, do you think the Patriots could have played better in this one? And it's hard to say that now, of course, after they won. But I guess they did make it hard on themselves in that first half, getting down 21-3. And the one thing that stood out to me, and I think it stood out to a lot of people, is that the Patriots were able to control the football. They doubled up the Falcons on time of possession, and the offense, was really clicking. But then the turnovers killed this team. And that's why they were down 21-3. But I think at the end of the day, that time of possession, really wore out the Falcons' defense, and we saw that manifest itself in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Right.
Did you see that as well? Did you see the Patriots sort of take advantage of a tired Falcons defense? All right, I think we're having some trouble with Patriots Hall of Famer Kevin Falk, but we do want to get back out to the parade right now. Looks like the duck boats are getting in position, ready to kick this thing underway. So let's send you back out to the scene.
Right now, because it was an incredible play. White's touchdown was big, and it won the game for him, and it's starting to come back here a little bit too. But I think people look at that Edelman catch and they mark it up there as one of those plays, iconic plays, it will be anyway, in NFL history when they show the history of the NFL. And people may remember a catch that Lynn Swann made in the Super Bowl, acrobatic catch. The catch David Tyree made for the Giants against the Patriots in the Super Bowl is another incredible catch. Edelman's catch will certainly go in with those as one of the best ever in the Super Bowl, and based on our early tallying here at fox25.com/vote, most people are in agreement with that.
Julian Edelman, best friends with Tom Brady, and looks up to Tom Brady so much and really just takes his advice. And
I think Edelman might have been able to catch it with his beard. Have you seen that?
Have you seen the size? Did you see him on the late night talk show on Jimmy Fallon last night with Bill Belichick? I don't know if I've ever seen a beard that bushy.
If he's gonna shave that might take like 4 or 5 weeks.
I think it might. He needs to be careful of what he eats, but really just an incredible thing. He was so cute with Bill Belichick on Jimmy Fallon. You know, they were just talking about, you listened to it. How
yeah. They're talking about how did they think they would be able to come back, and then Edelman said, well, Bill meditates, and then he held Julian Edelman's hands, and they had some fun and a good moment. It's nice to see Bill Belichick, that other side of Bill Belichick. We'd like to see him be able to enjoy all of the success that they've had here, because it truly is remarkable, and he will go down as the greatest coach in NFL history. No coach has won as many Super Bowls as Bill Belichick, and the team has been there 7 times with him as head coach. So the run of success is really beyond compare.
As we take a live look right now at downtown, the start of the rolling rally, where so many people, thousands of people have come downtown dressed in their best Patriots gear. A ton of security out there, and there always is during events like this. But we want to go down to Ak and Vanessa, who are in the middle of things in City Hall Plaza, where there are so many fans down there, you guys.
There certainly are, Sarah, and we're getting ready down here. We just had the buses that no doubt took the coach buses took the players and team management and family members and so forth. They positioned those down. They just drove past us here. We're down by the finish line in City Hall Plaza, so they're getting those in queue, getting those ready for when the duck boats arrive down in here. They'll disembark the duck boats and get onto their buses to head back to Foxborough. But you can see right here, the players are on board, the signs are alongside, and the rolling rally is about to commence after about a 40-minute delay here.
People out here are extremely patient, though, Ak. I mean, they're happy, they're smiling despite the weather. It's changed a little bit, lighter snow now. We shifted over to rain, and now it looks like light snow. But still all smiles out here. The chants continues, the cheers continue. People have been trying to get a glimpse of our monitor, asking, has it started, has it started? Because they're anxious. They want to see the Patriots.
Exactly right. And it's been fantastic to be out here this morning with all these fans and see and feel the love for the Patriots that they have. 5 Super Bowl titles. It never gets old. These parades are always fantastic. This is the 10th one, and it's been outstanding. And these people have been very well behaved. The plaza was starting to fill up, but now you really, if you're coming at this point, or you're even coming out of an office nearby, although many of the office windows are filled with people right now, you're too late if you want to get a good glimpse.
It is
unless you can stand on, something tall or be on someone's shoulders.
That's right. It is shoulder to shoulder. People are packed in here like sardines, and we have really seen the crowd pick up. A lot of umbrellas opening up as well. People trying to shield themselves from the rain and the snow. But everybody's happy.
They are indeed, and they're waiting, hoping this thing's going to get going soon. They keep looking up. The police are out on the street right now. They had a plow come through a little early. Got a huge cheer, of course, because that's setting the tone for the duck boats and clearing the way, literally and figuratively, for them to come on down here through what is really a fantastic spot along the parade route, because you have the tall buildings. It gets sandwiched in a little bit, but then you have like a wall of noise that's just going to be created through all these fans cheering along.
And so you mentioned those buses. Tom Brady with the Lombardi Trophy. You can see the trophy there, and Tom Brady proudly carrying that trophy as these duck boats start to roll.
There it is right there, up on high.
There he is. What a moment.
And you remember one of his sons was with him last time too, and really taking it all in. He had him alongside and was taking it all in then. He held his boy, but now he's holding the Lombardi Trophy, and given all he's been through, the suspension, the Deflategate, everything else, this one was special for him. He's the type of guy who's class, so he's not going to get into it back and forth, that type of thing. He simply let the results speak for themselves, and it was the perfect ending to a trying year. And as you touched on, Sarah and Gene, off the field as well for him, past 18 18 months have not been good to that family in terms of his mom battling cancer and everything else. But we're told she actually played some golf recently, so on the mend.
Yeah, glad to hear that she is doing so much better.
But you're seeing the duck boat starting to roll. The people get fired up, the crowds build, and we're here at City Hall Plaza ready to welcome them down here, and it is going to be loud and proud when they get here for sure.
And it's just so special to see the Patriots having their families with them on the duck boats, their kids, experiencing this moment all together, because they are away from their children and their wives so much.
It's a family
practicing
affair, no doubt.
so much.
There's a team at home that helps these guys.
Right.
So they can do their job, as Bill Belichick would say.
Tom Brady talked about that this week, how, he leaves for practice at 6 a.m. and his wife really...
All right, so the Patriots rolling rally is underway. You see the duck boats there on Boylston Street, and in one of those duck boats is our own Super Bowl champion, Jermaine Wiggins. Wiggy got a spot on the duck boat. Good for you, Wiggy.
I have a spot on the duck boat. If you go to Instagram Live, I'm going to Instagram Live. It is packed out here right now. People are everywhere. It's raining, it's snowing, but guess what? We are Patriots and we don't mind the cold weather.
Of course, you are an Instagram Live guy. We do know that about you. As far as the scene down there, just paint a picture for us what you can see from your vantage point in the duck boat.
Well, you know what? We saw Brady. We saw Gronk. We saw everybody. Blunt. It's just so many people out here right now, and it's just what we're doing. It's just watching and fans. They're about to turn the music up. You can hear the music in the background right there. That's a flatbed, and everybody's on that flatbed right now. I see James White. I see Gronkowski. I see Edelman, Amendola. This place is crazy down here.
And I know, obviously, you were part of the celebration back in the first Super Bowl, Wiggy, and just compare, what you see right now to the celebration back then.
I tell you, it's just as hyped up back as it was in 2001. And even though the weather's bad, people out here braving it anyway, and the atmosphere is no different. Every time, there's a parade in Titletown, Boston, as I like to call it, it's just, the turnout's amazing. And right now, it's just amazing.
And, you
out here.
Yeah, well, close to 1 million people are joining you in the city right now, Wiggy. And, we didn't think this was going to be the case. You and I were watching this game together, and we're thinking, man, there's no way, the Patriots are going to be able to come back. We're going through, all right, they need to score within 2 minutes here. Then they need to get the 2-point conversion. Then they need a 3-and-out or a turnover. Everything worked out perfectly, but it wasn't by luck. The Patriots made their own luck.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it was an emotional roller coaster. But at the end of the day, it was well worth it. They did what they had to do, and they never gave up. I talked to a couple of the guys as they came through when we were waiting for to take off, and they were just like, hey, we were going to battle all the way to the end, and that's what they ultimately did. It came out on top.
And
we're partying out here. We're partying.
Yeah, I know. I know you don't have any problem partying, Wiggy. You don't need an excuse to party, but this is a pretty good one right here. We're talking to Matt Chatham and Kevin Falk earlier about how this team over the years has been able to block out the noise. People talking about the Chandler Jones trade, the Jamie Collins trade, the Deflategate suspension for Tom Brady, the injury to Rob Gronkowski. This team can't win in the playoffs without Gronk, but they were able to do that, and they did it in dramatic fashion.
That's because this is the greatest organization in sports franchise history. They know how to leave the noise at the door. Don't let anything bother you, and that's ultimately why they've been able to win 5 championships is because of that reason. They don't buy into anything that anybody's saying. Media, nothing. They go out there and they do it for the team, the organization, and at the end of the day, that's why they are in the position that they're in.
Super Bowl champion Jermaine Wiggins joining us on the phone now from one of the duck boats. And Wiggy, year in and year out, the Patriots have a lot of great players come in and out of Foxborough. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, obviously the constants there. But they're able to plug and place guys in certain roles that you didn't think, could be replaced, like a Richard Seymour or Teddy Bruschi or a Kevin Falk. But they're able to do that consistently year in and year out.
That's because they are always guys are always buying into the system. That's ultimately why when you come here, that's the most important thing. You buy into the system, you do your job, and that's ultimately why the Patriots have been able to be so successful. I tell you what, it's a party out here right now. If you're not here, get down here. It is an absolute party. Follow me, JWigs85 on Instagram, Twitter. We're going live. Play bananas right now, Adam. It should have been here.
Hey, man, I'm watching it on TV like everybody else is, or watching it on Nesson.com. I can see it's a party down there, but you are taking us to the party, as is everybody who's covering the parade for us. Wiggy, we're going to check in with you a little bit later as we continue our coverage of the Patriots victory parade.
I'm about to go party. I'm partying. We're all partying. Taxpayers are partying.
Man, Wiggy was getting them fired up at the send-off rally in Foxborough, and now he gets a chance to be on one of the duck boats in the Patriots rolling rally here. Super Bowl champion Matt Chatham is also on one of the duck boats, and you know, just in disbelief watching this, because you didn't think it was going to be possible on Sunday. As you know, the Patriots complete the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. All right, let's take you back out to the scene on Boylston Street and get to some of the sights and sounds from the Patriots victory parade.
To give you a lay of the land, we're right by the Boston Public Library, of course, in front of the church. And if you look down these side streets here, if you look down Dartmouth, look at how deep they're going.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at the little kids up there. The parents got, on one end, they got a great view, but they're only going to get a glimpse of the boats coming by.
And that's the thing that's so amazing. So many people are only going to get just a glimpse because there are so many people, and yet they're here in this cold weather, in the snow that's coming down. As what we're looking out at now is just a couple of, you know, flashing lights, a couple of official vehicles making their way down Boylston. Of course, when the buses came down, people went nuts. Just seeing the buses that had dropped off the team at the Heinz Convention Center, those buses that we had watched go from Foxborough and Gillette up to Logan before the Super Bowl. So it was an exciting moment there.
This point here, I heard Gene just say it's going to get pretty loud when they come there. That's a great point, and I'll tell you why, because this is probably the first point of the parade where the largest crowd is. I remember distinctly in 08 with the Celtics parade, Kevin Garnett looking out and pounding his chest because he saw so many people. So, and the Brady chants are starting here for us now, but this is the kind of the first jumping off point where they really get a huge, you know, one of the biggest parts.
Yeah, that big swell really jumps up. You know, I'm seeing a sign in the middle, and I don't know if our photographer is seeing it. It says, "Praying for your mom." You know, we've seen so many signs out here.
Oh, police lights.
Yes.
Is it false?
I know. Imagine when the team actually comes down. But the back end of that sign says, "Great job." The front of it says, "Praying for your mom." You know, one of the things that struck me being down here today is there. You know, you have a number of those Roger Goodell signs, but you have just so many encouraging signs of people just thanking the Patriots for the great job that they did, persevering through everything that happened at the beginning of the season, and then of course persevering through that game that was just so, you know, I mean, epic. You know, you and I were just talking about how we didn't think that there was anything. I remember being at the Super Bowl for the Malcolm Butler catch 2 years ago.
After Adam Vinatieri got it all started, ending the game with a kick, and this Super Bowl topped both of those.
And yet here we are. I mean, we were talking with some of the members of the media and some of the fans out here, just how incredible that game was, the kind of game that you thought, I mean, how could you top that? And yet time and time again, this team has topped their display, topped their showing every single time.
Well, I think part of that, the way they won it, you know, everybody pretty much thinking they were done.
Yeah.
The way they came back and won it will make this parade even more special. You know, one other thing that strikes me down here, obviously, it's hard to come down here and not think about the marathon
Absolutely.
bombings, but there is a large police presence. There are people up on the roof on top of the Lennox that we can see and other places. You know, and I saw some yahoos, you know, guzzling some nips and doing some stuff, and there's aroma in the air of other
but
things.
But overall, I have to say, this has been a peaceful yet excited crowd, and I think that we're going to see them just kind of burst forth with that enthusiasm that we're anticipating.
Well, my point was going to be, and I said to you off air, that if anybody thinks they're going to get away with anything down there, there's eyes on everything down here, especially after what happened in 2013.
Yeah, you pointed out just a few minutes ago, you know, as you watched a state trooper kind of appear in the crowd who we hadn't seen before. I mean, you definitely got a sense ahead of this rolling rally that the police began to fan out, that the presence that was visible before became a little bit more visible. So absolutely, there are eyes just just like you're saying, Butch, there are eyes everywhere here at the corner of Dartmouth and Boylston.
I want to make one other point about Brady, and we all know this, but to me, I keep using the word emotion. It's obviously been an emotional time for Brady, and then we found out his mom got sick and all this and that. But think back to the send-off rally a week ago today, when he got up there and he gave the Let's Go chant that he usually reserves for players. So he kind of, made that public. And then at the podium after the Super Bowl, when he said, we're bringing this sucker home, he did everything but, drop an expletive, I think, in his emotion. So I'm really interested to see him with this. I really think, one of the things he talked about after the game is he does not take this for granted. Somebody asked him leading up to the game, about this Super Bowl and history and his legacy. And he said, this is not about the past Super Bowls that we've won or lost. It's not about future Super Bowls that we might want to win. He said, it's about this game. And he had a great line. He said, we will remember this week by the final score.
Butch, you've been with this team and watched this team over the course of its trajectory. And it's interesting to me that, as you and I were talking off camera, how Tom Brady has kind of evolved in just how he reacts after each win, from being with the team to kind of being more close to family members and that sort of thing. You can just tell, and I don't think it's just because his mom is battling what she's battling right now. I think part of it is just this maturation of this man who we've seen be a player, a married man and a father, and really the big brother to so many of the people that he guides on the field every time they hit the field.
What I think is interesting about it, if you talk to his critics, they'll say, probably from envy or jealousy, whatever, around the country, that, he's too perfect. He's got the model wife, he's got the perfect family, all this stuff. But you make a great point. He's not perfect, but here's the thing. He conducts himself like you would want any role model or any athlete to do it. He always makes it about his teammates. Go back to the AFC Championship game on the podium when Jim Nantz tried to get him in a kind of backhanded way to talk about Deflategate, and he said, my motivation is all these teammates out here. That was genuine. They really care about each other. I've said this all the last 2 weeks. There is a genuine closeness to this team. They care about each other. It's almost demanded.
It's palpable.
You talk to guys like Chris Long and Martellus Bennett, who played 9 years in the NFL, this being their 9th, and really never had a snip of anything like this. They checked their egos at the door. They came in and made it all about us and not me. As a matter of fact, after the game, people are asking Belichick, what about Brady's greatness? And his first answer is always, we have a lot of great players. That's not taking a shot at Tom Brady. It's just preaching the mantra that we win and lose as a team, and Brady leads that.
Oh, absolutely.
He leads it by example. He leads it by his words, and of course, he leads it by his performance on the field.
And you see these fans spilling out. I mean, this is a team that fans and families can really get behind. I mean, when you talk about, I actually saw a meme on Instagram. It said, hey, get ready. The Super Bowl 51 sermons are coming to a church near you. I mean, there is such a story to be told in the arc of not only this team, not only this man, but this particular Super Bowl.
They've made the turn here, and they're coming down Boylston Street. We can see them, probably not on our cameras yet, but Lily, you and I can see the confetti flying right down the end.
Yeah, and every time some little thing happens, this crowd just gets charged up and amped up every single time. We are waiting. We're awaiting the team, but yeah, I'm just starting to see that little bit of confetti fly through the air here on Boylston.
Yeah, we just had a little...
All right, looking at live pictures of the Patriots victory parade, the rolling rally well underway. We just saw, we have Dale Arnold here with us now. We just saw Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola, and I've said this, we've been on for about an hour and 10 minutes. I still can't believe we're sitting here talking about a Patriots victory. After
you mean a 28-3 you didn't believe?
No.
Because I didn't either.
And I was bold enough to go on Twitter and say game after the Falcons scored that last touchdown, and obviously I regret it. And I should learn by now, but still, nobody thought that was going to happen.
Well, it's never happened before.
Right,
Largest comeback in Super Bowl history. If you get them all under truth serum, and I'm not sure how many libations it'll take to get them there. I would guess that not many people in that Patriots locker room truly believed it. I know Duron Harmon at halftime was on the stationary bike yelling at his team, you're about to be part of the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. But I wonder how much of that was happy talk and how much was actual belief on his part.
You have to say that, right? I mean, you can't say, well, it's halftime, we're down 21-3, let's just pack our bags. It was a great season. You don't call it a season. But, I mean, yeah, I think that you have to say those things. Not sure if they believed it or not, although you know, the Patriots, and we talked about this as well, they were able to move the football in that first half. The turnovers is what killed them. And I think that the time of possession, you know, really came into play there because they doubled up the Falcons in time of possession. The Falcons defense looked tired in that fourth quarter, especially in overtime, where Tom Brady just sliced them and diced them, and that played a role.
The most offensive snaps in a game since a double overtime win a few years ago, a number of years ago. I've never heard of 96, I think it was, offensive snaps in a game, to 43, 42 for the Atlanta Falcons. You're absolutely right about gassing the defensive line, especially for the Atlanta Falcons, where they were putting pressure on Brady early. They just were unable to put pressure on him late. And once Brady has time, he starts picking you apart.
And you heard Butch Stearns and Elizabeth Hopkins talking about Tom Brady, and, you know, we're talking about the legacy and what he's been able to do over the course of his career, and, you know, how his reaction after victories has sort of evolved. I know this has been an unusual year and a trying year for him in many ways. You know, the Deflategate suspension, what he's going through with his family right now. But you can see the reaction after each and every win. It seems like he appreciates these more. And I don't know if it's because of what he's been through or that he's realizing that I am 39 years old. Even though he says he's going to play for 5 more years, it seems like he's appreciating it more, even though he's not exactly acknowledging that he's sort of appreciating this more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do think this year was different. I know Bill Belichick at his Monday press conference with the commissioner kind of took offense at the idea that this one meant even more to Brady. He said Tom always gives every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears that he has. There's no way this one couldn't mean more. There's no way, as Robert Kraft said, this is the sweetest. Going back to Deflategate to start it, but especially with the situation with his mom. Hasn't been to a game all year. The only game his dad got to was the one in San Francisco that he could drive over for and quickly drive back. You could tell how emotional everybody was. She's gone through a lot in 18 months. Robert Kraft told us radiation, chemotherapy. You saw her with the kerchief on Sunday night. She's been through a lot now. The prognosis is good, but I'm sure for a while there were some doubts in that family.
Yeah, certainly some good news hearing that the prognosis is good, and it was so emotional to see her on the field after the game, and a chance to see her son win yet another Super Bowl. And this one, as you mentioned, you know, meant a lot more to him for so many reasons. All right, we're going to go back to your phone calls right now. I do want to give the number one more time. You can see it right there, 1-866-275-6376. We have Christopher on the phone joining us from Fall River. Dale, I know you're not used to taking calls from folks. You got to be okay with this?
Walk me through this, if you would, yeah.
Christopher from Fall River, go ahead. What's your question?
Robert Kraft told us radiation, chemotherapy. You saw her with the kerchief.
And I think this is something you go through. The TV is on or the radio is on, and there's a little bit of delay. So we'll be patient with Christopher. Christopher, what's your question?
Good news hearing that the prognosis is good, and it was so emotional to see her on the field after the
This
game.
is where the producer says you have to turn your TV down. You'll hear him on the phone. You don't have to listen on the TV to when your voice comes up.
What do you think, Christopher? You got something? All right, unfortunately, we don't do this every day like you do, so we're just getting used to it. We have a long way to go here in the Patriots victory parade, but I believe the question from Christopher was going to be about Brady's longevity, and I mentioned earlier, he says he wants to play 3 to 5 more years, and I know people look at, you know, historically, quarterbacks at that age. We saw what happened to Peyton Manning. We saw what has happened to other quarterbacks over the years. They just can't sustain the high level that they once were able to do. Tom Brady is an anomaly, and we should treat him as such, and we should believe that he's able to play for 3 or 4 more years.
Although, if you listen to him, he doesn't believe he has to be an anomaly. He thinks that the gospel that he's preaching about nutrition and how he takes care of himself is something that other young players should be a part of as well. I know Julian Edelman has been an advocate of this program for a couple of years now.
And he's evangelizing this, too.
Oh, absolutely. He wants everybody to be able to do it. Tom Sr. said Sunday night his son's going to play 5 more years. Now, I don't know if that's a hard number that Tom has given to his father or if Dad is just sort of theorizing here. But listen, based on what I saw Sunday night, what we've seen all season long, I'm past the point of doubting whether this guy can play until he's nearly mid-40s.
All right, we're going to go back to the phone call now. We're going to go back to Christopher in Fall River. Christopher, you got us this time?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. This is not Christopher, so I don't know who it is. Who you're asking for? But I just want to say, I just want to make a comment that enjoy watching the parades. Thanks, Nesson, for showing it. And go Patriots all the way from Murrieta, California.
Oh, excellent. See, I like to hear that. Yeah, I remember 2 years ago we had people calling us internationally from Israel. I've seen tweets, people watching in London, and there are Patriots fans everywhere. And the reason for that is because of this dynasty that we're in with this Patriots team right now in the 21st century. And Dale, you know, I mean, I know growing up, and you especially growing up, you know, that was not the case with this Patriots franchise. You had that Super Bowl back in 1986 against the Chicago Bears, the first Super Bowl in Patriots history. Did not go well. And then there were losing seasons. There were 1-15 campaigns. There were 2-14 campaigns. 6-10 was a good year in many ways. But then, you know, that all changed when Robert Kraft took over and the winning culture began. It started with Bill Parcells. They got to the playoffs, and they got to the Super Bowl. And then, of course, you know, Pete Carroll came in, and Bill Belichick, the greatest trade perhaps in Boston sports history.
You know, I was a play-by-play announcer for a Patriots team that went 1-15. I've seen as bad as it can get. And I'm sitting here watching. Rust year. Yes, and I'm sitting here watching these images, and if you had told me back then that I'd be watching a parade where there are 5 Super Bowl trophies on that parade route. I just saw Josh McDaniels and Matt Patricia and Robert Kraft holding one.
There are enough trophies to go around for everybody.
They've got 5 of them on this parade route that they're lugging around. It is mind-boggling to think about the turnaround, and it really does, in my mind, everything turned around here because of 3 people, basically. It was Robert Kraft, Bill Parcells, and really, truthfully, Drew Bledsoe.
Sure.
That's what put the football team on the map finally, kind of began the turnaround, but obviously it was the acquisition of Belichick in a trade with the New York Jets, and ultimately the drafting of Tom Brady by, you know, the Bill Belichick regime that took us to the fact that, you know, to the point where, you know, you've got 5 trophies riding around Boston right now.
Drew Bledsoe or Rick Meyer, which way do you go? The Patriots went the right direction.
Draw Drew.
Yeah, draw Drew, exactly, back in the 1993 draft. All right, we want to go back to the phones now. Malcolm joining us from Maine. Hey, Malcolm.
Hey, what is your opinion on Tom Brady, and what is his legacy stand now, like if he was to retire?
Well, he's not going to retire, but frankly, if he did...
I believe hell no, right?
Yeah, I think hell no. Look, right now, he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
To me, the argument has been over for a while now, but Sunday night ended it forever. You know, when you've got 5 of those trophies, when you've got 4 Super Bowl MVP awards, all the records that he set, the most wins, and all those other things, as far as I'm concerned, there is no more argument.
There are a couple of individual milestones that he can still get. He can get the all-time touchdown mark. Passing yards is still in the equation, although you do have Drew Brees right in front of you. But as far as personal statistics go, I mean, that doesn't matter to Tom Brady. What matters is the Super Bowl trophies, the 5 rings. I mean, and look, this Patriots team is set up for success moving forward. This is not a one-and-done situation. It never really has been. They've always been in the conversation, and they will be again next year.
I don't think there's any doubt. Las Vegas has already installed them as the favorites to win the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
And think about this. If they did pull that off, they won 3 and 4 years earlier in this regime. That would be 3 and 4 years in a second part of the regime. It would be mind-boggling.
Yeah, it would be unprecedented, and I don't think that would ever happen again. I don't know if we would ever see that again. So I believe it would be, what, mission to Minnesota maybe in Super Bowl 52? We can coin it now.
Get your parkas out.
All right, we will continue our coverage of the Patriots victory parade as we take a look at Tom Brady. Once again,
look, he's letting Jimmy Garoppolo hold the trophy.
Hey, he had a part in it too. He had a part in it. The Patriots Victory Parade is brought to you by BigBats.com, your home for the exclusive Patriots Super Bowl commemorative ball.
Just brilliant again. What a play by Pedroia. Goodness gracious, Mookie Betts. 2017 Red Sox summer games are on sale now. Head to redsox.com/tickets or call 877-RED SOX 9 for more information.
The New England Patriots have just had the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. To commemorate this historic event, BigTimeBats.com is releasing this exclusive Super Bowl 51 Champions football. The football is available for $79.95, or get this football in the Super Bowl 51 case for $149.95. See our Super Bowl 51 sets at BigTimeBats.com. Purchase your piece of Super Bowl history now.
I love that Dirty Water TV.
Dirty Water TV spotlights all that's hot and happening in Boston, from the bars and nightclubs to music, events, and celebrities.
I love that Dirty Water TV.
Dirty Worldwide Water.
Dirty Water TV toasts the area's hottest nightlife news.
I love that Dirty Water TV. I really do.
Saturday and Sunday night at 11:30 on Nesson.
I love that Dirty Water TV.
Because the party never ends on Dirty Water TV.
Love that Dirty Water TV.
Love that Dirty Water TV.
Love that Dirty Water TV. Dun, dun, dun.
Ow!
Sundays, Nesson brings you a fascinating study on New England's most unique native.
Hey, Larry! Bet you didn't see that coming.
Observe his natural habitat.
Might be time to take off the shirt and pull out the guns.
Follow his hunting patterns.
Let the cook-off begin!
And learn the calls of the mad fisherman.
Flounder!
All from a safe distance.
I may need professional help.
Charlie Moore Outdoors, presented by Obashan Hardware.
All right, live look now at Rob Gronkowski and his Patriots teammates on the duck boat. The rolling rally well underway on Boylston Street. Gronk hopefully back next season, healthy for this Patriots team. Got injured in Week 12, wasn't on the field for Super Bowl 51, but certainly a big part of what the season was all about to that point. Let's join our friends at Fox 25 as we continue our coverage.
If anything like this, he is digging this. Look. And LeGarrette Blount, always at the Celtics games with fans.
Yep.
He takes more selfies with fans in the stands. He does. Every time people ask me about LeGarrette Blount, they'll show me their phone and they got a selfie with him.
Look at this. We are freezing cold. We are shivering. These guys are completely impervious to it.
LeGarrette Blount, and there's Gro. Oh my goodness, and Gronk's on this boat. This puts it over the boat. I keep saying boat.
It's like he popped out of a birthday cake that was made just for him, this guy. Look at him.
Here comes Gronk over here. Now that's the official party bus right there. Gronk no longer has his party bus. But that is classic. That is classic right there. Oh my goodness. Brandon Bolden is also in the back behind LeGarrette Blount there. Wow. If I had to pick one flatbed or duck boat to be on, that would be the one right there. So 3 of the players, boats and duck boats and flatbeds have come through here already. We'll get a few others now. Matter of fact, the next flatbed coming. My eyes are getting bad, Lily. I'm trying to see which that is. Looks like it's Dante Hightower. And that's, you know what? That's the beef boat. The beef duck boat. That's the defensive and offensive linemen. Oh, yeah, they're showing their guts. Don't get any red meat near that one.
Which way to the beach, gentlemen?
Yes. That's David Andrews, I believe, the Patriots center, holding the flag. And boy, you know, what a job the offensive line did this year with Coach Dante Scarnecchia back. If you remember, we all do the Denver game. Tom Brady was a punching bag last year, and now just a year later, we're having a parade in huge part because of Dante Scarnecchia and the job that he did with the offensive line to help protect Tom Brady and these young quarterbacks early in the season.
You know, as we've seen these boats roll through, we have just seen waves of excitement come over the crowd, and the confetti still continues to fly. People are pushing in. They want to see everyone they can see, and they've got a great view here at the corner of Copley Square. And here they are, the Beefcake boats.
Yeah, there's some beef on this boat. There's Joe Tooney grabbing the football. Well, they don't have good hands. He couldn't catch that. He's an offensive lineman.
It doesn't matter. That's 100% grade A prime rib,
That's
my friend.
exactly what that is. There's Shaq Mason. I missed Chris Hogan, but I would imagine he was on the boat with Edelman and the wide receivers.
As Celtics coach Brad Stevens said on the radio a couple weeks ago, on the Boston sports scene, we own the 80s playlist. He said, you know,
Hair Band Central on that.
And they love it, though.
They do.
They love it. There's Tooney. That's Ted Karras in between Joe Tooney and David Andrews. He's a rookie. Think about how many rookies they have on this team that get to experience this. And so many NFL players never have had this moment. Hall of Famers that never got a chance to be celebrated in the cities that they played in. You know, and then, Elizabeth, I think of a guy like Dante Hightower. He's been in the league for 5 years now. He's experienced this now twice. He's also experienced losing a Super Bowl. But he's been to the AFC Championship game, the game to get to the Super Bowl, every single year he's been in the league. I mean, there are veterans that he'll someday meet and they'll be like, do you know how much I hate you?
And that's what we've missed. That's what so many of us miss because it's happened so many times. You forget what the odds are. You forget the battle that it takes to get to this point. And it's just incredible, you're right, that so many of these players have had this experience again and again.
And I tell you one thought that's going through my mind right now, this being the latest parade, again, as we keep saying, the 10th in 16 years, you never think it's going to end when you're in the middle of it. You just never do. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but I vividly remember the Celtics and Larry Bird in 1987 when the Lakers beat them. And if you had told anybody back then that that was the last title the Celtics were going to win with Bird, or the last time they were ever going to go, they tell you they were crazy. They never got back again. And it feels like, with the way Brady's playing at 39 years old, that this scene is going to repeat itself at least a couple more times. But soak it in, folks, because you just never know when it's going to end.
You know, we've reaped the benefits of them making it that far so often, but you're right. It is, you know, we've come accustomed to every couple of years doing the same scene, and not just with football, with all of Boston sports. It really is an incredible time to be a sports fan in Boston.
You know what strikes me? We keep using the term 16 years. If you're a 16-year-old, my daughter Sophia is 18, my daughter Victoria is 16. I mean,
what else
come
do they
on.
know?
They don't know any different.
It really is incredible. Two more of the duck boats just passing our way, and another truck shooting off confetti in between. Just behind
So they're coming through Boylston and Dartmouth here, right by the marathon finish line now, right by the Boston Public Library, right in front of the church. Soon they'll be coming down to the end of Boylston Street. They'll make the turn. They'll go around the Common. They'll go up by the Theater District, and that's where we'll get the larger crowds on the Common because there's a lot of room there.
But I just want to point out that, speaking of the larger crowds, you're seeing the crowd along Boylston, but I'm also seeing people hanging out of the windows. These buildings in this corridor are full up with fans.
The people that are actually, quote-unquote, working today.
Right.
We're working, Elizabeth. This is our job.
That's true. And another party flatbed comes down Boylston.
It's going to be another party flatbed. Let's see who's on this one. Looks like we've got Kyle. This is a defensive boat. And here's another interesting thing. It's corny, but it's true. Football teams are divided by position group. You know, those are your best friends. Like in our business, the videographers, the on-camera people. But we all work together like a team. Well, these groups are really tight. So you see all the offensive linemen together on the boats. You see all the receivers, the quarterbacks. These are the defensive guys. And there was a certain tightness to them this year. As you remember, that's Kyle Van Noy. Think of him, a guy who played in Detroit, came onto this team about 6 weeks into the season. He's got to be thinking himself. But I want a duck boat in Boston when I was in Oblivion just 6 months ago.
And I love the song that's going by. All I do is win.
Right.
Head on the swivel, you know serving means a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow phone,
I am seeing a shirtless athlete just down the line.
That's a son. That's someone's son. Not sure who that is.
I didn't say how old the athlete was, but...
Dante Scarnecchia. Right there. There's Dante Scarnecchia.
Daniel Hawley is the duck boat.
The guy with the hood right there. Mike, if you can pan to the right, that's Dante Scarnecchia. And again, I think Patriots fans all know his story. Coach Scar came back out of retirement as a consultant, and he was a huge, huge reason why we're having this parade today. Right there with the hood waving towards us. He did an unbelievable job with the offensive line. Matt Light working with us all through the postseason, saying that he was actually frustrated last year, not with the Dave DeGuglielmo, who was the offensive line coach, but that he was a consultant, but that he couldn't get his hands on these guys and coach them. And so he did that this year, and he did an unbelievable job.
Now, I don't know if Mike Bua, our photographer, is getting a shot of the young man without his shirt on. But let me tell you something. This is a photo that's going to reappear at a wedding sometime in the next 20 years.
Right. Well, or, you know, if he's out somewhere trying to impress a lady.
Yeah.
What have you done in your life? I've ridden on a duck boat shirtless. Really? Really? Top that.
I hope his mother is happy right now.
What's there left in life to accomplish?
Right. It's all downhill from here, kid.
I don't know who that is. But he's enjoying himself.
I'll tell you, I don't know who it is either, but he just became my best friend. You rock, kid. You're going to get frostbite, but you rock. And so another party flatbed pulls its way in.
Let's see what we got here. More defensive players, I believe.
This is a long
Oh, there's Matthew Slater with the hood and the glasses. That's Matthew Slater. Clapping his hair. How did Edelman get back on another duck boat?
Edelman.
Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman. Stephen Gostowski. They started the chants of, so clearly here, Edelman's going to do this the whole parade route. A slow count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5.
It's the count of 1 for the thumb.
That's right, you got it. I'm curious how Edelman was on one of the early duck boats, and now he's on one in the back.
I think, have you seen him play? He's kind of a magician, Butch.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. Either that or they cloned him.
We could use another Edelman on the team.
You know who should be here today on one of the back duck boats is the guy with the Tom Brady mask.
Oh, yes. Hasn't he done so much for the team?
He's done so much for New England. It looks like we've got about 6 or 7 more duck boats at the end.
You know, I think for a lot of people, this always surprises them just how long this line is. Let's talk a little bit about the people who are on these boats, not just the players and, of course, some of their kids, but just everyone who's being carried through in this line.
Well, I'll give you an example. Nick Caserio. I haven't seen him come by here. He's the general manager. Here are some more players on this boat. That's Jabal Sheard. I'm trying to see who else. There's Chris Long throwing a beer out into the crowd.
Oh, boy.
I'll get back to that in a minute, Lily, but the Chris Long story is amazing. Obviously, Fox Sports, Howie Long, his dad. There's Chris with the... See if I can get him to give us a thumbs up. Chris has had a phenomenal year. Look.
A little bit of a Grey Goose
9 years in the NFL, the second overall pick in the draft. Never got a sniff of the playoffs in his entire career, and ended up as a Super Bowl champion. And there was a great moment in our postgame where Howie, the father, interviewed his son Chris on the set before we came to our own Fox 25 postgame, and that was really a special moment for the Long family. But you're right about all these people. Nick Caserio, I was mentioning, the team's GM. His wife, Kathy, used to be a Fox 25 intern. And now I see them. They're married. They have kids. I saw them at the after party, gave them a big hug. And you don't think about those people, but they all play a part in this.
Absolutely.
They all, and Belichick, for all the gruffness, and we see him with the media and everything, there is a family atmosphere. It's demanding. You work hard. You work long hours. But that's why these people are being rewarded also.
You know, some of the crowd, I have to say, is thinned down out, and I have to imagine it's because the weather is so raw out here, and some of their favorite players have passed by, and some people are going to seek shelter.
Well, as we're seeing the ends of the boats, there's about 3 more coming through Copley here now at Boylston and Dartmouth. You're noticing a lot of people are making their way now down to the end. And I think the veterans do this now. They start here because this is a cool place to be, and now they'll go around the city and make their way down the end to get to the end of it.
There is a strategy in place.
Yeah. And what is it, 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock on a Tuesday? They're probably already thinking which bars are open around City Hall that we can get to, the 21 and older crowd.
Anything to warm up, my friend.
Yeah,
Anything to warm
exactly.
up.
A nice little hot toddy for the body.
2 more Patriots flags being waved on this brown duck boat that's passing through Copley right now.
Yeah, I think we got one last player boat. Oh, Zolak. No ex-player enjoyed this whole run more than him. Z had the "Where is Roger" sign that he created himself. I actually spent some time with him and his wife Amy the other night, and she was telling me he's as crazy as ever. But he loves it.
I love
You know, and Zoe never got a chance to win a championship as a player, but he's sure enjoying this ride here now.
They certainly are. A lot of enthusiasm on one of the final boats rolling through. And as we see this orange and green duck boat, we're being followed up by an ambulance there. And a number of buses kind of concluding this portion of the parade.
Now let's see who we got on the last boat here. I think that's pretty much it for us here at Copley. I think all the players' duck boats have gone through.
And
that was pretty cool.
That was
I think
so
all
awesome.
those guys are really, really enjoying it, almost as much as all the fans here in Copley.
Would you let me go, Terry?
And as we see this parade kind of wrap up here in Copley Square, at least we're seeing the crowd thin out. Beyond these duck boats is a line of buses, and on the front of them reads Super Bowl LI Champs.
All right, Butch and Lily, nice job. Very exciting as we see the team go through there, all of those trophies, the confetti. As you can see, they're starting to work their way down now on Boylston Street, close to Charles Street. That's where, in essence, Tom Caron is, and we're going to get to him in a minute. Just a second. And as we do, you will see the entire thing. We have to give you a couple messages, but we won't take the cameras off of what's happening here. So we'll continue and get to Tom Caron and get the very latest from where he is and what he's seeing at his vantage point in just a second.
All right, so looking live at Tremont Street. The duck boats will eventually make their way there before ending at City Hall Plaza. We just saw them at Copley Square, and we saw the players having a good time. Saw Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, some of the defensive guys, Dale.
Saw Joe Judge's son without his shirt on.
We identified
winning
this shirtless young man. Yeah, he is winning Twitter. He's winning the parade so far. The Patriots continue their winning ways, and that's why we're having another one of these in the city of Boston, and just incredible stuff. And yeah, Tom Caron's actually going to be joining us. He's out of the parade route. Casey McDonald's out there as well. So we'll be joining those folks in just a bit. But as we were watching the players roll by and yet again celebrating another Patriots victory, you think about some of the storylines over the course of the season. And one of them was the offensive line. And we saw an image of Dante Scarnecchia, of course, returning to the Patriots, and how much of an impact he made on that offensive line. It was clear, and it was a huge factor this season.
There is no bigger Dante Scarnecchia fan on the planet than me, and I was so excited when he came back. But I think he would even admit a big part of the turnaround here, two things. One was health. They were able to, for the most part, play the same 5 guys pretty much all season long. And second, most importantly, was the huge leap in the play of Marcus Cannon.
Yes.
Lost a lot of weight in the offseason, was able to move better, quicker. He all of a sudden became a Pro Bowl caliber right tackle, and that really did solidify the entire offensive line.
And that's why they locked him up to a long-term deal, because of the transformation, because he has improved so much. All right, let's take you back out to the rolling rally.
Tom Caron, he's right down in that spot where we just talked about in Boylston and Charles. TC, the crowd must be very happy now to finally see these duck boats working their way.
Yeah, Gene, it's a pretty incredible sight when you're down here along the parade route. You know, there's been a lot of people here for at least a couple of hours. You know, I'd say 2.5, 3 hours, the crowd really forming and basically, you know, trying to entertain themselves. And then about 15 minutes ago, you start to see the duck boats off in the distance, and it starts to pick up. And now right here on the corner of Boylston and Charles, the first of the duck boats is about to pass, and the crowd's really starting to go nuts. The confetti blasting into the air. So it's pretty fun to see this crowd come to life and get energized. You can hear the reaction. I told you guys earlier, the biggest crowd reaction was for a snowplow operator who went by earlier. But now it's really underway as the first official vehicles of the parade start to pass through. The first duck boat here right in sight. And this is a pretty good spot for fans because they've sort of got a bottleneck a little bit here and slow down a little bit. So it's going to be a good chance for fans to interact with the players on the boats. And you can see on top of some of the buildings as well, a lot of fans have gathered in windows and balconies. Not a bad time to be behind a window, nice and warm, because it has been cold. And here are the first trophies as Jonathan Kraft and the front office, ownership, management, all coming together here in that first boat and hoisting the trophies for everybody to see. Really incredible sight. I think the smiles on the faces, you see Jonathan Kraft here, Robert Kraft on the other side. The Krafts thanking the fans, pointing at signs as they pass through and thanking them for their support, because the support here has been incredible, as it has been all season long for the Patriots. It's nice to have this many trophies that you can share them between all the duck boats. You don't have to put all the trophies in one.
And you know, the other good thing, TC, from where we are, when a camera position came through through Copley Square, we had a view of the right side of the duck boats and all the players over there. So where you are now, we get to see the guys who are on the left side that we didn't get a clear picture of as they were coming through that particular part of the parade route. So this is good. We're getting to look at everybody now.
Yeah, and you know, as they've done in the past with these rolling rallies, you get sort of the front office starts off, and then, you know, administrative types, because everybody's got to be a part of this, you know, and I think all these teams here in Boston have done a great job of making sure that everyone is part of the celebration. You got the coaching staff coming through here. Dante Scarnecchia was just leaning over and getting a big ovation as well. And, you know, you build your way up with the players coming off in the background on later boats. So everybody's sort of getting more and more geared up as it goes through. And I always am amazed. You've got all the fans in the crowd taking pictures, but there are just as many pictures being taken by the Patriots staff and ultimately players on the boats taking pictures of the incredible crowds they witness. You got the flatbed here and the flags waving. And this is the, I assume, the alumni group here. And they're cranking it up.
Yeah, they're going by position group, TC, so you've got some of the defensive backs there going through, it looks like. And no shortage of confetti, too. That's always a nice thing. We saw the shot of Robert Kraft going through with...
Butler's on that flatbed guy.
Yeah.
And he just got one of the biggest ovations, obviously, we've seen so far.
And we saw Robert Kraft going through earlier. It's funny, we talk about as the football operations staff goes by there with that belt. The championship trophy looks very interesting with all that confetti stuck to it because of the snow and the rain. And there's the shot that people are waiting for that they really want to see. There's the quarterbacks coming through, and you can see Jimmy Garoppolo there, Jacoby Brissett, and yes, there's Tom Brady, TC, holding up that Lombardi trophy.
And you can just imagine what the reaction to that is going to be. You had that first flatbed ahead of the purple truck that had a good smattering of players on that. So it kind of spaced them out a little bit to get the crowd getting a little louder with each. And there he is, Tom Brady. This crowd's getting their first look at the four-time Super Bowl MVP. And a perfect time for the green duck boat to come to a stop. You can listen to the crowd chanting here, and there's a sign across the way from us that says it never gets old, and I think that sums up the feeling for everybody watching and everybody in the duck boats today.
And you can tell
Tom Brady coming over to this side and waving.
And you can tell, Tom, that this never gets old for Tom Brady either. You just look at the smile on his face, and he's just soaking it all in as he waves to the crowd. I mean, it is just amazing.
And I love the shot of the people in the... I was going to say, TC, we got a shot of the people in the background in the windows all lined up taking their pictures with their cell phones. That's a great shot.
And you can see, Jimmy Garoppolo holding the trophy and Tom soaking it in. Pretty good catch right there as the T-shirt being thrown up.
Someone's threw Jacoby Brissett
a T-shirt up there and sending it back in. Was that a Drew Bledsoe T-shirt?
I don't know. It was 11. Is it that or Edelman?
Might have been an Edelman. But the reaction there from Tom Brady when they first sort of pulled up, and I'm sure it'll be like this the entire day, just kind of shrugging his shoulders almost and saying, as much as we are saying, how incredible this moment is because of how improbable Sunday's comeback was.
And the other thing, too, for Brady, I mean, he has shown how you deal with the adulation and all of the attention in a better way than anybody else. I mean, there's a lot on his shoulders, but he's maintained his humility, he's remained grounded, and he's really been incredible when it comes to just making sure that he doesn't get too ahead of himself. He treats everybody with respect, and we see Martellus Bennett and the other guys going by there. And for all the success that this guy's had and everything that's happened to him, and as brilliant as he has been as a quarterback, he's remained grounded and very humble, very approachable, which is not easy to do. So you have to give him a tremendous amount of credit for that.
He really is a class act. His family and his friends are so important to him, and I think that's really a big part of it. Just incredible. You think about the season, how it started with a 4-game suspension, and it ended with Tom Brady getting his 4th MVP award and his 5th ring. It's just incredible how the season unfolded, Tom.
Guys, Rob Gronkowski just went through rather quietly, which I think is the last thing anybody expected in this part of the parade route. He was waving a Patriot flag, being very well behaved, but it is early in the day, so we'll keep an eye on Gronk.
Well, he doesn't have his usual stamina. I mean, he hadn't played for the season, so maybe he ran out of gas midway through.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. More football operations staff going by, so I think they've done a nice job of that too, kind of scattering the football operations staff throughout the parade and staggering them with players, because obviously the crowd gets jacked up a little more when the players go through, so that's a good job by them to keep everybody engaged throughout the parade route.
And Tom, you made a really terrific point that they have so many trophies that they can spread them out between all of those duck boats, so you get to see it multiple times.
And obviously we're waiting for the Bob Ward appearance, because I'm sure that'll drive the crowd into a frenzy.
He knows how to get the crowd revved up. There's no question about that, TC. As again, we continue to watch to give me some idea of where we are here. This is Boylston Street crossing over to Charles Street. You can see more of the players there. These look like the offensive line crew. We get David Andrews on there and Marcus Cannon. And those guys, as we talked about, really did a terrific job this season with the help of Dante Scarnecchia. And there's a look at the Patriots were down 28-3 there at that particular point in the game that we just popped up on the screen. But we're talking about the Dante Scarnecchia coming back, and talk about a guy who's been through everything possible with the Patriots. He's been that coaching staff over the years. He was an interim head coach for a while, coached a bunch of different positions. I think he started something like in 1982, and has been seeing the good and the bad and everything. So really remarkable for him to come back and get that offensive line in position, and really a key to helping the Patriots win the Super Bowl this year. Without the way the line played, I'm not sure we'd be having this parade today.
Guys, we've got the alumni boats coming through right now, and I do want to say that's one thing that these teams in Boston have also really done. The Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, and obviously Patriots have really done a great job letting the alumni share in this. Anybody who ever wore the uniform feels like a part of this, and I think it's a great way to keep that history and tradition going as part of this great celebration rolls through.
And Tom, as we take a look at the bottom of the screen right now, we have another poll up on Fox25.com. So the question is, how many more Brady Belichick Super Bowls will there be? Your guess?
Well, 50% split right now between 0 and 1. I thought people would be a little more positive than that. 2 is starting to check in there. So the tally, boy, people are confident now. So leading the way is, well, it keep changing, but 1 and 2 seem to be going neck and neck. So people are confident there will be more, as 0 has dropped down to 5%. So, you know, when you look at the combination of what they've done, the success they've had, the remarkable winning that this organization has had, the commitment to excellence, especially brought on by Brady and Belichick, there's no reason to expect that they're not going to be contenders for the next couple of years. As long as Tom Brady wants to continue to play, he stays healthy and plays at the level he's playing at now. For a guy who's 39 years old, think of last year, TC. All right, Peyton Manning was 39 years old. What kind of a player was he? What kind of year did he have? Although they won the Super Bowl, he was a shadow of his former self. Tom Brady's playing like a guy who's still 29.
And he wants to play till he's 45.
Probably can.
And you know, when you talk about Tom Brady and his future, you're talking about a guy who's on the best team in the NFL. It's not a great division. I mean, there's no reason that they shouldn't be back contending for another Super Bowl next year. There's a reason Vegas has already put them in as the favorites to win next year. Why wouldn't Tom Brady keep going with a chance to add to all the hardware he's already got?
As the linebackers going by there, TCs we're seeing on the screen right now. With the speakers, too, it gets loud as these duck boats come through. There's also another boat coming your way, a flatbed, that's going to have the receivers on there, and that's what Julian Edelman is on. That's coming up in a few minutes. I'm sure the crowd's going to go bananas when they see that crew come through, especially when you consider the catch and the play that Edelman made that everybody's still talking about. Really will go down as one of the highlights of the Super Bowl when they show those NFL film things of the greatest catches ever in the Super Bowl. The greatest catches ever in the Super Bowl. Those guys with the great voices. The Edelman catch will be mixed into there for sure.
As more boats come through, you think about... Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, the more you see that catch, the more probable it is. And I've made a few Red Sox analogies today. You know, we all remember Dave Roberts stealing the base against the Yankees. Every time you went back and looked at it, you thought he was going to be out this time around. And, you know, I've watched that Edelman catch 36 times, and every time I'm convinced it's about to hit the ground, even more than the time I watched it before. That defied all logic. And obviously, it's got to be the greatest catch in Super Bowl history because it's part of such an unbelievable comeback.
Tom, you think about how proud Robert Kraft is of his team. I mean, he never in his wildest dreams probably thought that he would buy a team that wins 5 Super Bowl championships. And he even said in his on the night that they won at the 2 years ago, he thought that was the sweetest win of all. But he said this year, unequivocally, this is the sweetest. And he wanted, you know, everyone to know that. And just amazing.
Now the next flatbed coming through here, TC. I do believe, trying to get a better look at what we got coming through there.
Yeah, it's another flatbed with the players, and these guys are really fired up now.
This is receivers. It's Julian Edelman, Amendola's on there. There you see Chris Hogan just off to the left wearing the hat, the knit cap, and people were, you know, if you're going to throw a football at one of the flatbeds, this is the one, because those guys are going to catch it.
Yeah, Julian Edelman getting the crowd to count out 5, and we all know that 5 is now New England's magic number. And that was a great moment as the entire crowd at the top of their lungs counting down the Super Bowls with Julian Edelman, who was doing everything but jumping off the top of that flatbed to be part of the celebration here. So it just got cranked up another notch here on the corner of Boylston and Charles.
On the right hand of your screen, we have 2 shots right now. The right hand, you see the Krafts, Robert Kraft, and his son Jonathan hoisting the trophy.
You know, I saw a shot earlier, TC's, that was coming by where you are, and Brady handed the trophy, one of the trophies, off to somebody else, and he kind of was swinging his shoulder around like his arm was sore from holding the trophy up for the whole time.
How much does that weigh anyway?
I'm not sure how much that weighs, but it's after, if you're holding it up the whole time, that can, you know, that's like running with an Olympic torch. It gets a little heavy after a while. But there's a great shot of you know, Robert Kraft really just saved the organization, really. First, he bought the stadium when it was the old Sullivan Stadium and Foxborough Stadium. And then after that, he bought the team with that whole James Bush Orthwine kind of a placeholder as an owner, taking over for Victor Kiam. And then when he bought the team and had the stadium and then hired Bill Parcells, that was really a complete shift in the direction of the organization and the future of the New England Patriots. And then after kind of flirting with the possibility of moving to Hartford, that fell apart. Then came Gillette Stadium that he had built, and the rest is history. As the boat with the coaching staff coming by now, and Josh McDaniels holding a trophy and getting the crowd fired up. He's a guy who was rumored to be going to the NFL as a head coach back. He was with Denver, and he was rumored to go to San Francisco. He said, you know what, I'm not interested. And he's staying now with the New England Patriots, a very valuable member, obviously, of that offensive unit as the offensive coordinator. Someday he'll be a head coach, and Sarah, people have speculated, well, maybe he's just in waiting to replace Bill Belichick as head coach of the Patriots when that day comes. And it will come at some point. Just how far down the road, we don't know.
Yeah, there was some discussion over the week about when Bill Belichick would retire, but Bob Kraft, and he said that that was something that would be kept between them, and that he will retire when he is ready. But I don't know, these guys are having too much fun. I can't imagine when Bill Belichick and Tom Brady split up. Hopefully that day will not come anytime soon.
All right, now these guys are, the parade is making its way down to, and by the way, thank you, TC. I think the parade's moved past him now, but it's heading now to where our Blair Miller is with Nesson's Casey McDonald, and they're going to give us a sense of how things are in that particular spot. I think that's the duck boat there. We may see our Bob Ward on in the masses there. Blair, I don't know if you can see him with Tom Korzak.
This is the Bob Ward duck boat. we are in the thick of it, and this crowd is finally ready. That the team is finally here. There's been so much anticipation, and you can just see how excited they are to finally see them. They've been asking us, how close is the parade? How close are they? They're finally here.
They're finally here, and they're cheering for any duck boat that goes by. They don't know who's on it. They don't know. They have no idea. They're cheering regardless. We have CB12 chants going on, and now we've got the DJs coming through right now. I mean, we've got the.
And you can certainly see the players coming by. We see
We've seen a little of that from the players, Blair and Casey. Some folks have had their own ways of staying warm, shall we say.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people here getting creative with it, and it is a big party here in Tremont right now. You know, they were so excited to say, when is it coming, when's it coming? And now they see those trophies off in the distance, and they got so excited. Now everyone's starting to be covered in confetti out here.
I haven't seen this much confetti ever. I haven't seen this many people going absolutely insane.
And I don't know if you can see it from where we are, but everyone with their cell phones just taking it all in. It is just, there's so many people here. It's just surrounded by people here, seeing everyone just take this in. It is quite a moment for the city of Boston right now.
Quite a moment for the city of Boston, and I know as a newcomer to the city, I mean, you can feel how united everyone is right now.
And here comes Tom Brady here in front of us, where we are on this riser. And so Tom Brady with his family, as you all have been seeing from some of the other spots, and this crowd just going nuts.
I wonder when the Wolfpack shirts will go on sale that Jacoby Brissett was rocking to the Super Bowl. it's definitely going to be a hot commodity coming up.
There were chants as soon as they saw the parade turn onto Tremont here. These chants. And the chants continue. Tom Brady pointing over here.
Tom Brady is fired up. He's not slowing down.
I don't know if you could see what he said there, but it's... he's about to catch a ball here from the media here.
Oh, he's about to catch a pass.
He says he's going to catch this ball.
Let's see if they can reach him. He's caught a touchdown pass before. Here you go.
That was awesome.
Now does he throw it back? Here it comes. Hey!
Jimmy Garoppolo holding the trophy there as well.
Oh, man. These fans just going nuts.
And look at
just going nuts as they
Jacoby Brissett there wearing the Tom Brady jersey. Think about where he was last year, Blair, in college. He was a college football player drafted by the Patriots, and now he's in a Super Bowl parade. What a difference a year makes for some of these rookies and younger guys. They must be pinching themselves.
And I don't know, just describe the situation here. You know, out of these tall high-rises, people are just hanging out of them. Windows open and just taking all of this in as Tom Brady goes by here on Tremont Street.
That's right, Jimmy. Go ahead.
And we've got Martellus Bennett coming down the road. Brady's duck boat a little bit more subdued. He is catching touchdown passes. Yeah, a little bit more subdued.
This duck boat, and Martellus Bennett, of course, having the time of his life. This is his first Super Bowl win, and to have this experience on a duck boat and bring this home to Boston fans is just amazing.
And that was some of the receivers and running backs. You saw LeGarrette Blount on there as well. He was dancing up on the front earlier, so he's taken a safer position back on the flatbed there as that particular group of players makes its way by Tremont. And of course, people are thousands more people gathered in City Hall Plaza waiting for them to get down there. But Blair, the buzz where you are, Blair and Casey, is really it's just electric right now.
Oh, it is. And I apologize. It's almost impossible to hear you guys. And Casey and I can't even hear each other. And it's just, it is that loud. You have the flatbed trucks honking their ways through, and then you have the crowd. It is louder than I've ever heard a crowd. And these players, you know, you all were talking about it earlier. You know, the fans are very excited, but the players are equally feeding off all of this as well. And it is so incredible to see how many people are here and how genuinely excited everybody is. It is quite a feeling out here.
You know what it is, though? It's so genuine, and it's a sense of, we've been here before, but at the same time, it feels like the first time. You know, this is a seasoned crowd. They've been to Super Bowl parades before, but they are just soaking this in to the utmost. And I think the earmuffs are definitely hindering our hearing as well. It's a little bit cold out here, breaking news.
And, you know, some of the people who are watching all this, you have the people who lined up right next to the gates, but you have so many people back in the common who are so far away, you know, 40, 50 people deep, seeing this from a distance. They're equally taking it in. You see a lot of kids, families. You know, the mayor said he wanted this to be a family event, and it certainly is for a lot of people. You have your share of people here who have a great time. It's been a big party for them. They've been here since 9 a.m., maybe earlier.
Jealous of all the college campus kids who have front row seats right here on Tremont. I mean, I don't know how you can't get hyped up when you've got a concert coming down the road every second. But like you said, I mean, feeding off of each other, family affair. You see the little kids on the shoulders. It really is a special moment.
When you see the families on the road as well, you know, this is a big party for everybody, not just the fans. So as we look back down Tremont Street, still a long way to go in this parade. We're probably midway through, but they made the turn here onto Tremont from Boylston. And as soon as they made that turn, you could hear the roar down the road, down the street as people just got so excited. The snow is now tapered off, and it's pretty much rain. But you know what? These people don't care. They're not cold anymore. And when one guy said to us, he said, "Are you cold?" And he said, "No, this is the Patriots. We just won the Super Bowl. This is what we do."
He said, "This is a holiday. This is a holiday for our people, and we're going to celebrate that way." I mean, these people are cheering for an empty duck boat that drives by. I mean, seriously, I think there are 22 duck boats in all, and
well,
they haven't made a dent yet.
They were cheering on the DOT truck that came by a little earlier.
And again, definitely not a shortage of memories made, Snapchats here. I mean, everybody has one phone, two phones, a selfie stick, and a GoPro in their hand.
Well, and somebody, you see people asking the police officers, "Take my picture." Just everybody wants to remember this, and no matter how many times the city has done this, it does. It's like the first time.
I just can't imagine growing up, you know, as a young sports fan in a city like this, where you have so much to celebrate, but it doesn't come easy. I mean, if you look back at this year alone, it doesn't come easy, and just how resilient this team was.
When the confetti flies here on Tremont Street, and I think about all the hard work that they had to quickly do on those duck boats to clean them, they've got another long night ahead of them to clean these things up. So another flatbed truck is getting ready to come by here where we are. And
I've been to these. I think that if I was a football player, I would want to be on one of the flatbeds.
yeah, it may seem like that's where the party is, huh?
It's really incredible, Gene, when they take a wide shot of the city streets.
That's a great shot right there.
Oh,
You just
right
see
there.
them,
It's
yeah.
gorgeous. And you see the masses of people compared to, for example, 9 a.m. when people first started showing up to now. I mean, you really see they may have hit that million people mark heading down into the city.
And you can see here all the other professional teams putting together their congratulations to the Patriots. That you see that on the side there. As you get to I believe the linebackers going through there again, Dante Hightower and the guys on the defensive side of the ball. But all the other teams support each other in these endeavors and congratulate them. And the Bruins, making news today, firing their head coach. So that was interesting, the timing on that. I'm sure a lot will be discussed about that. But we have to take care of a little business. So we're going to duck away here for just a second. You're not going to lose the picture. We're going to keep that up for you, so you'll be able to see everything that's going on. But we have to take a quick time out. For these quick messages, we're coming right back.
Champs. They've done a good job not giving up big play.
Well, incredible scene on Tremont Street, the Boston Common. That's when things get really crazy, and you know from past experience because we've had, 9 previous rolling rallies between the 4 teams, and just an incredible sight. In the city of Boston right now. You can see the Patriots enjoying themselves, the fans enjoying themselves, and the snow seems to have stopped a bit, but the confetti's still falling as the Patriots rolling rally continues, getting close to the end now as you see one of the 5 Lombardi trophies on the duck boats. And Dale, so far it's just been, as expected, a lot of fun.
According to the Boston police, crowds are a little smaller than 2 years ago, and they blame the weather for that. The Red Sox parade in 2004 is reportedly still the largest one ever, and again, weather has something to do with it as well. I'm kind of sorry that the city of Boston has done away with the rally itself at City Hall Plaza. You know, the Robert Kraft dancing with Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy thing.
And seeing Tom Brady's dancing skills and seeing all of that. And,
I understand from a safety perspective why they probably had to do it, but it would be nice, I think, if you could possibly continue that tradition. I am amazed at the crowds that are out there, and we keep seeing these wide shots. It is a school day in Massachusetts, right? I'm just not sure.
Well, no, Tom Brady declared the city, it was Patriots Day in the city of Boston.
He does have all-encompassing powers. That might be part of them as well.
Yeah, so I think some people got some free passes from school, missing school and missing work. And, you know, the other cool thing is if you happen to work at a building along the parade route, we saw that. It was awesome. And I saw
a lot of people taking pictures from upper floors.
Yeah, it was cool. And then, you know, going on Tremont Street, Suffolk University, the dorms. I used to live in those dorms way back in the day.
And it's still standing.
It's still standing. They didn't have to tear the place down after I lived there, but, well, there was some damage done. But I'm not going to go down that road right now. But the Patriots,
statute of limitations is run out.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
I think it has. I think I'm safe. As you can see, the rolling rally is making its way down Tremont, close to City Hall now. I can't quite tell if that is City Hall. It looks like it might be.
I should probably explain to folks, tomorrow's supposed to be sunny and 56 degrees. And I heard some people say, well, why wouldn't you just hold it tomorrow? The problem is some of these guys are getting out of town tonight. Every single player is on one of these vehicles, every single one. I'm not sure that would have been the case if you had held it tomorrow. In fact, I know it wouldn't have been the case.
Right.
You would have been missing some people.
And Roger Goodell missing from this celebration.
He's missing too.
Yeah, he's been missing in Foxborough for quite some time, and it'll be interesting to see.
He's been invited already.
He has been invited. Robert Kraft said after Roger Goodell's press conference during Super Bowl week, when Goodell said, you know what, if I was invited, I would come to Foxborough, and if I called the Krafts, I'm sure that they would have me. Well, opening night in Foxborough, it will be interesting to see if Roger Goodell does accept that invitation and come.
He may be in the building. He definitely won't be involved in the banner raising. He won't be out on the field. He won't be where the public gets an opportunity to see and boo the crap out of him like they did Sunday night down in Houston. My guess is he's going to be there because it's going to, and my guess is, if just projecting here, based on the schedule, I think you're going to see a Super Bowl rematch. Atlanta does come to New England next year. I think that'll be the Thursday night game.
Yep.
So he's not really going to have much of an excuse to not be there. So I'm guessing he's probably going to show up for this one.
My whole thing is if you're Roger Goodell, why would you go? And if you're the Patriots, why would you have him? But I think at this point, now that the invitation has been made formally, because it was made, you're going to see Roger Goodell there. But I agree with you. I don't think it'll be on the field. I don't think it'll be a part of the banner raising. But as for the here and now, the Patriots rolling rally continues. We'll take you out for some more sight and sound.
Passing him back. And there's Brady.
There's Brady.
He's got a little boy up there with him. He takes his son along.
The crowd cheering MVP, MVP.
MVP.
And can we just say how good looking our quarterbacks are?
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I didn't say it.
Best looking boat.
Tom Brady easily getting the biggest cheers so far. Place goes wild, as you'd imagine. But there's plenty more to come. We've got 53 guys in the team, right? I mean, you got a lot of players here.
Right.
So we've got personnel coming through. Of course, it's an organization. It's not just the Patriots players, although that's what everybody sees. But there's so much organizational background here that we have to take a look at, too. People who come to work every day, people who sell the advertising, make the experience what it is inside Gillette Stadium. But bottom line, it's the players who deliver the goods and deliver the trophies and deliver the people to a parade like this.
And if you just look out in the crowd now at the faces of Patriots Nation, just how excited they are to see their champions rolling through the city on these duck boats. It is a party.
So we got another trailer coming through now. And the players are riding up on front, dancing, having a great time.
Loving this.
Martellus Bennett has gotten rid of the coat, and there's Gronk. You got the tight ends.
There's Gronk.
Garrett Blunt's on here as well with the running backs.
Gronk seems a little more subdued than he has in parades past, right on?
What's that?
Gronk seems a little more subdued than he has
a little bit, but then he's getting into it.
He's behaving.
Gronk's pacing himself. That's what I say.
That's right. Good point.
Pacing himself. But this crowd is finally getting what they wanted to see here.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. They hid back underneath the building across the street. And then as soon as they heard the roar, people came back out because it is raining down here, but they're not even feeling it at this point.
But you know, the snow has stopped. The rain has stopped. This could not be a more perfect moment for Patriot Nation.
24 duck boats. I'd say we've had about 6 go by at this point, so plenty more to come.
And the confetti continues.
The abundance of riches here in Boston. 5 Super Bowl trophies. And rolling rallies, let's call it number 10 since 2001. Another blast of confetti.
They're so excited about
the
that
crowd
confetti.
absolutely loves.
Red, white, and blue.
They can take it home with them. They don't have to do anything. Just let it stick to you.
It is just such an honor to be a part of this, to be right in the middle of this moment for the New England Patriots. Just what an incredible victory celebration.
Absolutely. We are so lucky to have this type of thing right here.
Wow, look at him dancing.
And it's a dance party. It's a rally. It's a movement, an experience. It's the Patriots.
All week long, the players said that they have the best fans in the country, and that is on full display right now.
And they traveled well down to Houston for the Super Bowl as well. Outnumbered Falcon fans 10-1.
Yeah, Atlanta had to cancel a pep rally, right? Because no one showed up.
Falcons didn't have enough people. Now, give them credit. On game day, they showed up too, and they got loud for a while. But of course, Pats fans had the last laugh in the end, and they were very loud. And Falcons fans were nowhere to be found after the game. They're kind of walking around, if you saw them, a bit like zombies.
I'm sure.
What just happened?
They were stunned.
Like we were kind of through the first,
first half
part of the game there. And then things got a lot better, a whole lot better.
Some family members of the players.
As we said, takes a village. A lot of support there. And all ages represented on these boats as well. A lot of kids, I'm sure their first time on a duck boat. No, you just want to drink it in. You want to listen to it, you want to watch it, you want to absorb it sometimes.
Yeah, we want to let this breathe a little bit and just let our viewers at home experience this with us.
These little ones haven't stopped waving since they left.
No, the arms will be hurting tomorrow, right?
We got a big party truck coming right after this. Another blast of confetti.
And I believe up next is going to be the receivers.
Yeah, it's going to be Amendola. It's going to be Edelman, Chris Hogan. And how about Chris Hogan as an addition to this team this year? What a compliment to Julian Edelman, taking some of the heat off of him. And Danny Amendola fought back from injury, had some key receptions, scored that touchdown in the Super Bowl. A big lift getting him back in time for the playoffs and getting him in there for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Hogan had the best game of his career at the AFC Championship game. What a game that was for him, and what a year it's been for his family. His fiance is pregnant. They are expecting twins, and I read earlier in the week that on the days that he was off, he would drive to New York where she's in medical residency just to check on her, and I just thought that was so sweet. And he said family comes first, football comes second. And what a neat guy he is.
Chris Hogan, too. He came from Buffalo. And not a lot of winning going on up there, but he came to New England, and he found the Holy Grail. Well, we got some linebackers here. Rob Ninkovich is on. Jay McClellan. Dante Hightower.
The crowd is singing, they're dancing.
It's a good old party in Boston. Boston style. Well, they plussed it up over the years. You got the duck boats. We've had that. But they're putting out a little more music in behind it.
A little more confetti.
The crowd electrified. There's Jermaine Wiggins right there. Wiggy. Of course, of Snow Bowl fame. How on earth he made that many catches in the Snow Bowl back in 2001, no one will ever understand. Jermaine Wiggins. Patriots tight end of the past. Very much the present as the team brings a lot of the alumni back. They're very involved. Tom Caron touched on that earlier. It's great to see because you see it with all the teams when they win. You remember those who played before you, who set the standard before you. May not have been as successful as you, but as much a part of the Patriot tradition, the Patriot family, they helped build that.
They helped build the franchise.
So now we have what's called a little bit of a lull, and we're still waiting on those receivers. But I think they're coming because I think I can spot Edelman's beard from 150 yards on a good day.
Do you hear the crowd chanting, "We want 6, we want 6"? Yes, we do.
Oh, I heard 5 more early on. I mean, folks, let's be realistic here. I'm with you. I think that's great. And quite honestly, probably a possibility, but I'm not going to put the pressure on it. There you see the route. And here in Government Center and City Hall Plaza, it's all packed. Packed back to the Tees Hop, headed down towards the plaza area. People are trying to get a glimpse. People are going on people's shoulders. The phones are on every time something comes by.
Yes.
You know, it was interesting. I read a tweet by Peter Abraham of the Boston Globe who said, "I feel so good for all those 3-year-olds who finally have a championship to celebrate. They've waited so long."
It becomes tradition, right?
I'll tell you.
And you think many NFL fans across the country
They just want one.
They just want one. They've never experienced this.
Yeah. All right, so we've got another flatbed coming up. And then you know what that means. Flatbeds are filled with football players. And then a series of duck boats. So they're rounding the corner, headed for home here. As we are coming to you live from City Hall Plaza. Right here on Fox 25.
And again, this is the end of the route. So these are the most patient Patriot fans right here because they showed up hours and hours ago.
And listen to that as it comes towards us.
And this is the moment they've been waiting for. He has been so animated along this parade route, having so much fun out there.
Julian Edelman, and last year he had a shirt on. This year he buttoned down.
I was hoping he was going to have the shirt off again this year.
Julian Edelman has been a fan favorite. They talk about a guy who was a quarterback in college, coming out of Kent State, little known, late round draft pick, comes into the Patriots. They switch him to receiver. He picks it up. Wes Welker, eventually his career ends with the Patriots, and because of Julian Edelman's emergence. And a possession receiver, a guy can get open quick over the middle and make things happen, but always churning out yard after yard, what they call yaks, yards after the catch. So important, critical for moving a series of plays down the field. He's able to pick up those first downs and keep the drive alive.
And he and Tom Brady have that unique relationship on and off the field. They are so close. Tom calls him one of his
Chris
best
Long in
friends.
the brown hat right there.
There he is.
We had him on our post-game show. Came from St. Louis, free agent. Said, I didn't care about the money. I cared about winning.
He just wanted
winning
to
it all.
experience this. This is what he came for.
He said he could not have drawn it up any better. He said everything has worked out perfectly.
He has a huge smile on his face. So great to see him.
Of course, his dad, the great Howie Long. Imagine that. They have to have 2 separate safes in their house. Or maybe they put them together.
And what do they feed them growing up?
Father like son.
Right? But
more duck boats rolling along, more family members.
You almost feel like it's the beginning of the parade, even though it's the end, because they are just as excited as they were when we saw them when this thing first kicked off. Parents holding up their children, putting them on their shoulders so that they can get a glimpse of their
Look at
favorite
this little one. They got a tiny
players.
little baby. I mean, he can't be more than what?
Oh, he's got to be
less than a year. Oh, right here.
Oh, yeah. A year and a half, maybe.
2.5 feet tall. I don't know. That'd be even extreme. The duck boats continue to roll through City Hall Plaza. Patriots rolling rally, 2017 style. Scott Zolak coming into the picture right here. Zoe, a former quarterback with the Patriots.
I'm curious, how does this compare to 2015 when you were out in that parade?
Well, obviously, weather-wise, we had our mix of snow today, but on the ground in 2015 was where it was at that point. It'd been second blizzard of 3 that were coming. They sandwiched it in. They had to make the route a little bit shorter. They got some of the snow out of Dodge, moved it to other places in the city, and the rally, and it was much colder. But this will warm your heart seeing this right here.
Yeah, no complaints tonight.
Scott Zolak, of course, cheering him on, start to finish.
Yes.
Guy's got unlimited energy. And there's a Super Bowl ring being shown off as well. Now the Brady chance is starting up. He's long since passed, but
right.
He's always top of mind, right?
They're appreciating the crowd as much as the crowd is appreciating the.
Just an incredible day, and I know a lot of kids are out of school today, and teachers, go easy on them. Come on. I wonder how many teachers are actually here who banged out sick. What do you think?
History right here.
Do you think there were a lot of substitutes coming in today?
Oh, I'm sure. I know my boys did not want to go. They said, "Mom, we don't want to go to preschool. We want to watch. We want to watch."
Your kids are preschool level. Wow. Impressed. Those are some football fans. And they're not going anywhere. Folks are hanging, waiting.
And now they're chanting, we want six. We want six.
As they pass by, the final duck boat passes by. And a series of buses will follow now as the players are going to go to the end of the route, which isn't far from here, just around the corner, get off those buses, and then be headed back to the off-season as far as being able to get some rest. A lot of them will probably do some endorsement deals, of course, which is part of the deal, you know?
And there's
that was fantastic.
There's a chance we may hear from some of them.
All right. Yeah, we may hear from them. We're waiting to see. You know, it's always a tricky situation. Sometimes the players will hang and talk. Sometimes they'll just want to get going. A lot of these guys don't live in the area. Some do. Tom Brady, we know, does, obviously. But a lot of them want to get away. We talked with Rob Ninkovich, the linebacker for the Patriots, after the game the other night. He came on with us with Chris Long, and he had mentioned, you know, what's next for him is to heal up. But what he said, priority right now for me is my wife and I are going to Key West, and we're going to take a long vacation and just kind of debrief and relax and
be a family.
Yeah, and
because
just
they do spend so much time away from their families, training and practicing. And
like I said, it's a good problem to have when you're the last team standing.
Right.
You know, yeah, you work the hard line all the way through and longer than most, and other guys have been on vacation for weeks now. But they'd all trade places with you in a second.
And we know Coach Belichick's already thinking about next season. He said yesterday when he's 5-6 weeks behind, right?
Well, absolutely. I have a feeling he probably was doing something today to game plan for next season before he even got on the duck boats today.
I bet you're right.
But it has been another outstanding turnout by the Patriots, and really, more importantly today, this is about the fans. These people who came out in all kinds of weather. I mean, now it's raining very lightly, which is good, so they can move away and warm up and get something to eat and reminisce about the experience they just had, because they love to talk to one another. They've been chanting with one another, and it feels like family out here.
They have become family, and just what a special experience for all of us to be right in the middle of this, to be able to share this with our viewers at home who weren't able to come down here. It has just been an incredible day.
You know, you look over here in City Hall Plaza in the past, up there, right above that sign that was where, you know, Larry Bird came out and addressed the crowd with the Celtics. You didn't have rolling rallies. And so you stood right under there, and you looked up, and they came out.
Very far away. You didn't get an up-close glimpse.
Exactly. So the rolling rally, you know, in part is designed to make it more
intimate.
Of a situation where it's an intimate gathering between you. And there's Tom Brady right now, so they're still moving along downstream, as we say.
You have a plan. So Tom Brady's going to speak.
But
Tom Brady's going to speak.
How much more intimate is that than staring up, looking up as if you're looking at the Pope in St. Peter's Square? You know what I mean?
It is incredible. And, you know, Tom Brady was throwing footballs back and forth earlier.
Yeah.
We saw that. It was just so fun.
And the trophies, you know, were spoiled rotten. I mean, you got 5. You can scatter them about.
Right.
I mean, the Crafts had 2 in a boat. You know, next time they might want to take one of those and drop it towards the end, you know. Give the guys in the back a little love. You can spread it around. It's okay. Just another day in Boston, post-football season. Never gets old.
The culmination of a fantastic season.
They were the cheerleaders. I was wondering where they were.
And what's happening at this hour.
A lot of local girls. And here they come. Something happened with their duck boat because they are far behind. They got to catch up.
The crowd is starting to disperse, but everyone, huge smiles on their faces. Just so excited that they witnessed history here with the 5th Super Bowl parade.
Okay, we understand the players are going to speak once they get off the duck boats. Well, we're hoping anyways. That's the hope.
Yeah, and fans are making their way over towards City Hall, hoping that they're gathering around there near City Hall, hoping that Tom Brady, maybe the Coach Belichick, will take the microphone and say a few things to fans.
The cheerleaders are going down the street here, and then the fans are just getting in behind them. They want to walk the route like everyone else with the duck boats as they drove by, and now they're taking selfies and just keeping the party alive down here. You're looking right now at the duck boats. They're starting to come off at the finish to today's rolling rally. Hopefully get some players here, and we'll see what happens.
And how perfect that the snow stopped, the rain stopped.
Yeah, because at about, 11:10, this didn't get started until about 11:35. So at about 11:10, 11:15, it was almost whiteout conditions.
Huge snowflakes.
So if you were here, you could see through it, but it was work. And then, as you said, things started to clear up. Precipitation really started to abate. And here we are.
And,
you can see for miles, and that's good because we had a lot coming at you.
All the fans were so patient. Everyone got along, even though they were packed in shoulder to shoulder. Just part of that family atmosphere that we've been talking about all morning long.
Well, it is part of it. And that people are doing the smart thing and doing the right thing, and that's good. Boston Police, of course, out in full force. And the mayor and everyone had talked about this prior, saying, it's like Barry Sanders of the Detroit Lions, who's famous for celebrating like you've been there before. And that's what they asked the fans to do, and they've obliged. As far as we know, things have gone very well. Little delay today, understandable. I mean, we were in traffic coming up 93.
Oh, the traffic was brutal this morning.
You'd think they have a police escort, though, that they could get through. But when you have gridlock, you have gridlock.
Right.
It's going to take time.
Better catch coming in this game.
So the bottom line is they got here in time for a parade where everyone was on, pins and needles waiting for it around that corner, wanting to celebrate, wanting to jump right in.
Aki, you have covered sports for many, many years. How would you rate what happened on Sunday and what you witnessed?
Well, I'll tell you, there's so many. It's almost, I don't want to put them all together and try to pick one because it's tough. I mean, Orr's goal in 70. I mean, that was incredible. Flying through the air, the way it all happened. Vinatieri, the Red Sox winning. Carlton Fisk's home run in 75. There's so many great moments. But with the Patriots, I'm just, again, I go back to what Butch and I were talking about. To have 3 incredible endings like you have with a Vinatieri kick to win it all in the first one, and then you have Butler's interception at the goal line, and now what we saw, the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history the other night. Tough to pick one. So let's just enjoy them all, right?
And, Julian Edelman, one of the things that he said that was very poignant, I thought, was that the game was like a microcosm of their season. They had to come back from behind. They had all these setbacks that they had to overcome, and they had to keep using that mental toughness, keep believing that they could do it. And I just thought that was so well said. Just such a great description of the season and of the year.
Yeah, it was indeed. And I think, a lot of the offense, and rightly so, the offense gets a lot of the credit. But if you look at the defense on this team, I don't think anybody picked them to be as good as they were. And it was something we talked about in the postgame with some of those players. The fact that you start off with your quarterback, arguably the best in the game, right? For a lot of people, he is the best in the game, clearly here in New England. But he's suspended for 4 games. So now the pressure's on that offense. You've got young quarterbacks.
All right, you can see the rolling rally has stopped rolling at this point. The Patriots, players and fans, obviously there, and just putting a bow on this right now as we continue to watch. And Dale, just your final thoughts from yet another Patriots victory parade.
I saw a young man on the parade route. He was holding up a sign. It said 15 years old, 10 parades.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Trust me, kid. It wasn't always like this in these parts, and I'm happy for him and all of the other teenagers in these parts who now think this is a regular occurrence and it's what you're due. It's not like this all the time. It will come to an end at some point. I don't think right away. I think the Red Sox are probably poised to perhaps have another parade at some point in the relatively near future. And I do think this team, has probably got at least one more parade in them as well. And it'll be fun watching them put this thing together for the 2017 season.
And look, they're the early favorites, I believe, in Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota. And Tom Brady obviously said, hey, man, I'm not going anywhere. Emphatically said that. Even though Giselle wants him to retire, I guess, wants him to go out on top, Tom Brady is going to continue playing. Bill Belichick is going to continue coaching. For how long, we don't know that yet. But as long as those two guys are around, you know, coaching at a high level, playing at a high level, you're right, they're always in the mix.
Robert Kraft said he and Belichick have had the discussion, that there is a number, and that Kraft knows what it is, and Belichick obviously knows what it is, but they're not sharing it. We've already said Tom Sr. told everybody that his son wants to play till he's 45, or 5 more years, I should see.
Which was the last time he was allowed to talk to the media, probably, right?
Yeah, probably for a little while anyway. So I got a feeling they're the favorites for next year. I wouldn't be shocked going into next season. They're one of the 4 best teams in football automatically. Wouldn't be shocked if you saw another one of these things right here within the next year or 2.
Number of free agents the Patriots have. Martellus Bennett, a guy that was a big part of this Patriots offense, a huge trade in the offseason. Obviously became a bigger part of this Patriots offense once Rob Gronkowski went down with injury. You have Dante Hightower, you have Alan Branch, a number of different guys that are free agents.
You know, we said earlier, it's too bad they don't have the rally part like they used to. Right. It looks as though they're gathering on the balcony there at City Hall Plaza. You can see the giant "One More" banner that the Patriots, that was kind of their theme. And it looks like some of the players are out there. So it is possible, I don't know if they've got a public address system set up, that some of the players will try to talk.
It does look like they have some speakers over there to the left. I'm not sure, again, like you said, if they're set up or not, but the Patriots players are gathering up there. You wonder if it's just like one final wave goodbye. We'll see you next season, or we'll see you in training camp, or if they're getting ready to speak. But they are getting the crowd fired up right there. They're still dancing. You know, the duck boat's sort of coming to a stop, and you know, you're not sure if this is it, or if, well, like the banner says, one more address to the crowd. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I don't know if they are going to speak, you know, who would be expected to speak. I've got a couple of candidates based on watching the rally so far who maybe shouldn't speak. There are a couple of guys who I might not necessarily want on a microphone, but Tom Brady, Julian Edelman. Edelman has really got that counting to 5 thing down.
Yes.
We've seen him do that on a couple of occasions during the course of the route. So if they indeed do address fans there at City Hall Plaza, that's a change from the last few years. I'm happy to see it if that's what they're going to do, but I'll be curious to see who it is who steps forward. You would expect Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, perhaps Tom Brady, maybe a guy like Matthew Slater, who's the special teams captain and very well spoken as well.
All right, only one way to find out. Let's listen.
Energy out here from all the fans.
And there you can see they're starting to make their presence felt out there, cheering them on. Let's listen in for a second.
One thing I know about Pat Nation, y'all one vessel. One vessel. We all together. We all together.
That is Malcolm Butler with a microphone. So yes, here we go.
Listen to these guys.
They said we couldn't do it.
Kevin McCoy
They're having a ball.
chiming in as well. Defensive backs.
You know, it's funny. Some of the guys will just grab the mic and yell and scream.
What up, Pats Nation? It's Eric Rowe right here. We got 5 rings, boy. Yeah.
Eric Rowe with 5 rings for the organization, as he said.
Yeah, 5 rings.
And they're going to stop by a hot mic. They're making a hot time here in Boston.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, this is pretty just a free flow, you know, unscripted. If they feel the urge to take the mic, they're stepping up and doing so and talking to Patriots Nation.
You never think that's going to happen.
And the fans are going nuts.
And they're calling it sounds like Brady.
And he's getting the crowd honestly.
They're getting the crowd fired up for Brady, we hope.
Well, let's sounds like the crowd's singing somewhere maybe up on stage that we don't see quite at the moment. But these guys know where to go. You know, it's a chance to deliver a message, deliver thanks.
You know, it's funny, they know the game plan right now. The minute the last duck boat came.
You know, you were there for the media night in Houston. And the players said over and over how much they appreciated the fans.
What's next? What's next?
There's Jimmy Garoppolo. He was taking it all in with his phone right there. And he was able to take a look, but he looks like he's going to pause on talking.
He's on his phone.
Oh, they're trying to get him. Let's see.
Because he's got a huge career ahead of him.
Will Jimmy G be back here next year? That's the big question.
That is. You just think the pressure he was under, and he really stepped up when the Pats
certainly did a great job and really increased his market value for not only himself but for the Patriots as well if they wanted to make a deal. Oh, Malcolm Butler back on the mic.
All right, there's Logan Ryan. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
Hey, 2 years ago, the Butler did it. But this year,
Logan Ryan at the mic now.
Down 28-3, we all did it. Patriot Nation did it. Turn up. Come here. Come here. I got another friend with me, Nate Ebner. First time Olympian and NFL champion in the same year. Only one person on the planet ever did it. That's Nate Ebner. Shout out USA, 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 USA.
Olympian, Super Bowl champion.
USA, USA. Love y'all. And I'm out.
Of course, Nate Ebner had a concussion, so suffered that in the AFC Championship game, unable to play in the Super Bowl. Was dressed, was there.
What the music at, man? What y'all?
What a year for him, huh?
You know, I love hearing him say down 25 points.
Okay, all right, okay.
Dancing.
Well, it looked as if we were going to hear more from Malcolm Butler.
And you got to think they're going on adrenaline by now. I mean, they had the late game, then they partied late into the night and celebrated, then they took the plane back home. And, you know, they were up early for the parade.
Yeah, it's been an exhaustive schedule. Of course, you know, they had the demands of family coming in and then being sequestered and then playing the game of their lives. And coming off the victory, of course, they're sky high. And the next day, they've been up all night. They had a great party out there in Houston after the game. And not far from where the actual event took place itself, the football game was right about, I'd say maybe 500 yards in terms of outside the parking lot and leaving, right near the Astrodome as well. So they partied long into the night. Probably slept a little bit on the plane coming back yesterday. Then they had the reception you guys covered here on Fox 25 when they landed and went out to Foxborough. Let's listen into some more.
Let's go, baby.
Well,
let's go.
I'm not going to talk. All right. Nope.
One more time. Let's go. Man, y'all family, like, for real, though. Like, this a family right here, man. Look at this. Y'all family, man. We a family. We family. Hey, we need every free agent to sign back. Yeah. Let's do it again. Hey, number 5 looks good, but how about number 6? Let's go get number 6. Yeah.
Dan McCourty cheering the crowd on, saying 5's fine, But how about getting number 6?
Let's go for 6.
No, 1 for the second hand.
Check it out.
It's interesting to see Malcolm Butler as well, who's up there earlier and still doesn't want to leave the stage, as you can see right here. When you think back, his heroics in the last Super Bowl at the goal line with the interception against Seattle, and a guy who was little known, and a guy who was actually working at Pizza Hut at one point, and then got back into football and was able to make it not only to the NFL, but into the NFL's biggest game, on the NFL's best team.
On the
biggest come up
stage.
with the biggest play on the biggest stage.
And then Tom Brady
And he's clearly comfortable with the stage now.
He loves it. And Tom Brady ended up giving him the truck, right?
That's right. And James White, who I did not see today, he was down in Disney. Tom Brady said yesterday at his press conference, he said, I got the MVP award, but really James White deserves this award.
And so I think he's going to give him the truck as well, right?
I would think so.
I think I had read that. It just goes to show how classy Tom Brady is. He's just such a genuine guy. He rose above Deflategate. Never, even this entire week of Super Bowl week, did he say anything negative about Roger Goodell. Every time that he was asked by the media, he deflected and said, I'm focused on winning. I'm focused on winning the game. I'm focused on the future. And I don't think every professional athlete would have carried himself that way and handled the situation the way he did. He handled it with a lot of grace.
He certainly did. And somewhat in today's day and age and social media, and sometimes players have a platform, they want to make a speech, they want to make a point. He chose not to. He was pretty old school in that effect, that he said, the bottom line is, I'm going to do my job, do what I do best, let my actions speak for themselves. And in the end, he came out victorious, and it was humble pie for Roger Goodell in the NFL.
Amen.
When they had to present that trophy, not only the Lombardi trophy, but yesterday, Goodell handing that silver football for the MVP award.
Chanting for Brady. Jimmy Garoppolo taking the mic.
Let's take a listen.
Calling out Brady.
Oh, he's looking to get the Brady. Now that's wonderful. Jimmy Garoppolo firing the crowd up to get.
Will we get Tom Brady out here? If it happens.
This place is going to go nuts.
This place is going to go nuts, and the top's going to pop off. This is pretty informal, what we're seeing here, clearly. Not orchestrated or scripted at all. Who knows? Who knows who's going to appear? They should have a black curtain and everybody come front one at a time. I understand Marty Walsh. So the mayor is up there, and Governor Baker, we hear, is up there now as well. There's Marty Walsh.
There he is.
So now you got a little formality to this thing. Now you got to understand that something's going to happen.
Mayor Walsh told us earlier in the week that he declined to take a bet with the mayor of Atlanta. He said when he's done that in the past, his teams have not won. So he said,
all right, let's listen in.
Let's listen to the mayor.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. This is number 5. How y'all feel about number 5?
Are we ready, Boston? Are we ready? Number 5, history here in Boston. We have a couple special guests here today, and I'm going to bring the first one up to the microphone. The governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Governor Baker. Good afternoon, everybody. Very simple. In honor of the 5th World Championship by these New England Patriots, we declare today, February 7th, New England Patriots Day in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts! Are we ready to party here in Boston? Do we have the best football team on the planet? We have the best coach on the planet, the best offense on the planet, the best defense on the planet, and the best owner on the planet. Let's hear it from Robert Kraft.
You hold this. You know, this is number 5. And I want to tell you, there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks about GOATs. And you all know we have the GOAT when it comes to player in Tom Brady. We have the GOATs when it comes to coaches in Bill Belichick. But I want all of you to know that my family and our organization feel we have the GOAT of fans on the planet. And you prove that. And Dante Hightower made that stick. You all were so loud. Our defense was our 12th player. But there's two fans I'd like to thank today. One is the mayor of the city of Boston who arranged all this. And he was a fan before we bought the team. He had season tickets. And then Commissioner Evans for allowing us to have this parade. How do you feel about having one more parade? Well, I'm going to call upon the man. There's no Billy Goat here. It's only Bill the Goat. Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time. Oh, they told me
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming out today. This is tremendous. Let me tell you, these players, they worked harder than any team I've ever coached. They came to work every day, and there were no days off. 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 Go Pats!
Hey, how lucky are we to have this guy? When he says no days off, he's in there 24/7, 365. To this guy, what'd you say, Dad?
I just passed that on. That's 51.
There he is. In addition, since 2000, we've been so fortunate because we've won 5 Super Bowls.
Think about it, 5. And the quarterback of each of those teams was Tom Brady. Tommy, get Brady, Tommy. Tom Brady.
One more. I told you we're going to bring this sucker home, and we brought it home. Thank you, guys. We do it for you. We do it for us. Let's go! Let's go! This has been a great team, and we got most of the guys standing up here today. We're going to enjoy this one. These aren't easy to do, but this team gave everything it had, and it took, damn, that game was hard. That game was real hard. But you know what? We're going to remember this one for the rest of our lives. And we know you guys will too. So thank you for your support. We got your back. We know that you got our back. And that's number 5. Hell yeah, that's number 5.
Put these trophies out. How many out here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah! Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on down, Beast Mode. Take that right there, Beast Mode. What's up, Boston?
You want to know something? When we get 6, your boy right here is going to be part of 6, baby. Let's go. Woo! This team worked so hard to be right here where they're at. I love these guys so much, and I know I wasn't part of playing the game, but please, I love being part of this team, and this is just so amazing. And you guys are the best fans ever. Woo! I mean, I really can't put it into words. We have the best fans in the nation. I couldn't have done it without my teammates. I appreciate Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, guys like Devin McCourty, Gronk, Tom. I couldn't have done it without them, man. I wouldn't be without them. I think every one of them.
Hey, if you don't know, James White!
It's not about me, though. It's about all my teammates, man. I'll never take all the credit. I couldn't do it without them. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
James White!
Hey, we got LeGarrette Blount coming on the mic. LeGarrette Blount.
We couldn't have did this without my dog, James White. James White.
Euro, this is Dion. I just want to say, James White! Let's go, baby!
Who's getting crazy tonight? Hey, Boston! Who's getting wild tonight? That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey, give him a 69.
Hey, shout out to the Raw Harmon, too. Shout out to the, hey, get right, dude. Hey, oh, man. Let's go, Pats. 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 Lit. All right. Yeah, really. I love you guys, man. I really appreciate it. Say something, me. Hey, Brandon Bowden about to get on the mic. Brandon Bowden.
Hey, it's BB Hawk Smash. I don't know my dog Slater at, but I want everybody to remember James White touched his microphone before I did. Let's go, 2A.
Somebody else go, hey. I don't know what to say. I love y'all. I can't do that. Matty P. Matty P. No Matty P. Malcolm Butler, you don't want to say nothing? Oh, you did? Okay. Matty P. You want to say something, Matty P? Matty P, get right, Matty P. Go ahead, Matty P. Matty P,
It's heavy at the top. Thank you guys for everything. We appreciate you so much. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Coach, I got a coach. I didn't mean to. Yeah.
Coach Patricia wrapping it up there with the Lombardi Trophy, thanking the fans. What a great moment for them to be able to speak directly to the.
Well, there you go. The rolling rally culminating with a rally at City Hall Plaza. We heard from the players. We heard from Robert Kraft. We heard from Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, Governor Charlie Baker declaring this New England Patriots Day. And now that the drive for 5 is over, it seems that 6 is in the mix for the Patriots as Devin McCourty asks all the free agents to re-sign with the Patriots. Well, that concludes our coverage of the Patriots victory parade. Stay tuned after this. Other big news today, the Bruins relieving head coach Claude Julien of his head coaching duties. We will bring you the press conference from Bruins general manager Don Sweeney. Thanks for joining us.
And that's where that phrase comes from.